Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the New York Yankees versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. All right, and on the thumb, on the left, we have Aaron Judge. Court is in session, baby. And on the right, we have Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Trident's up. Victor Robles couldn't grip the bat. Obviously, late last night and early this morning, so he's scratched from the lineup. So we're going to get no Victor Robles for a day or two, but it sounds like it's not serious, but still not playing tonight. Let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting New York Yankees. Leading off for the Yankees at second base, Gleyber Torres. Batting second, playing right field, Juan Soto. Batting third, DHing for New York, Aaron Judge. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching for New York tonight, Austin Wells. Batting fifth, playing third base for the Yankees, Jazz Chisholm. Batting sixth, playing center field for New York, Jason Dominguez. Batting seventh, playing first base for the Yankees, Anthony Rizzo. Batting eighth, playing shortstop tonight, Anthony Volpe. And batting ninth, playing left field, Alex Verdugo. And on the mound for the Yankees with a 9-10 record, an ERA of 3.90, nasty Nestor Cortez. Now let's get into the starting lineup for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, catching tonight for the Mariners, big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. Batting third, playing left field for Seattle, Randy Arozarena. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Justin Turner. Batting fifth, playing second base for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Batting sixth, DHing tonight for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing shortstop for Seattle, J.P. Crawford. Batting eighth, playing right field for Seattle, Mitch Haniga. And batting ninth, playing third base for Seattle, Dylan Moore. And on the mound for the Mariners, with an 11-8 record, an ERA of 3.12 at this point of the season. Probably our second best pitcher behind Brian Wu, since Kirby and Gilbert have been struggling to get run support. Bryce Miller. And hopefully he can end up pitching a solid 6 or 7 innings to make it Miller time. Otherwise, it might end up being a blowout like last night. Let's go, Bryce. Let's go, Mariners. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health, addiction, depression, anxiety. These are things that not only I've gone through, but I know some of y'all have gone through it in the past or are dealing with it right now. So if you make some minor adjustments to your daily routine, you can get back on track. If you're not exercising, exercise. If you're not eating healthy, eat healthier. Just by doing those 2 basic things, you can turn your life around. It takes a lot of effort, but once you start doing it for about 3 weeks straight, it becomes a positive habit in your life. You'll lose weight, you'll look great, you'll feel great, and you'll get back to being your normal self. Listen to 30 minutes of music every single day or more. Hang out with friends, family, and pets. And make sure you're getting rid of the toxic people in your life. You hold yourself accountable, push yourself a little bit, do these basic things, and then you can get back on track to win the day. New York Yankees, Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 3 minutes. Let me get all set up here with the TV and all the screens, and we're going to get going here in just a moment. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you have a Twitter/X account, do your boy a solid and like and retweet the post. But more importantly, smash that like button here. Help us get to 20 within the first hour. Then it's all easy and downhill from there. 30 to 50 overall on the likes. And we're always going to be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Megan in the building. What's good? Elliot in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Cease. Wow, 1 hit, no runs, no walks. Phenomenal. Nice job, dude. Back-to-back homers in the 8th. Nice, dude. Hell yeah. Congratulations on your win and also helping us Mariner fans out. We appreciate it. Captain Oreo says, thank you, Padres. Even though it says Paters. But we know what you meant. All right, let me get situated here. Make sure all my screens are good to go. Give me 1 sec. Always want to make sure I have backups as well, no matter what's going on. Again, you can have it on the TV. You can have it on a live stream connected through your cable. You can end up using a streaming site as well. But the bottom line is you just want to make sure everything is working. And then if for whatever reason there's any type of issue, there's always a backup on hand. And I think we're good to go here in just 1 second. All right, I got my primary and I got my backup. I think we're all good here to go. Just getting ready to get settled in. Wow, really? 3 homers in a row on 4 pitches? Electric. Who are the 3 people that did it? No worries. I hope you feel better. I saw that they had a lot of clinching factors for many teams. And yeah, there is a possibility that they can clinch here tonight. Hopefully the Mariners can at least, make it competitive. Hopefully we can end up getting the dub. But, at this point in the season, I think you kind of know who you are. And, we've just had too many injuries. We've just been too inconsistent. But you never know. Again, anything can happen on any given Sunday through Monday, especially in the MLB. We got rocked yesterday from our best pitcher, Brian Wu. We ended up losing 11-2. I don't know if anyone saw that coming. I sure as hell didn't, but hopefully it'll be a little bit better, this evening, that a little bit more competitive. I'm hoping that we win, but when you play the Yankees, you already kind of have an idea. It's like playing the Dodgers. It's not going to be easy. No Giancarlo. I don't know if he's injured or if they're just giving him a break. I'm looking at the injury report, and he's not on there unless he ended up sustaining an injury, a few weeks back, and he's out for the rest of the year. Maybe Sarah would know that answer because, I don't really follow the Yankees or anything. So, okay, looks like we're all good here. I'm not following him game in and game out. I try to follow him as much as I can, but no Giancarlo Stanton yesterday or today. Yeah, the same exact lineup from last night, except you got Anthony Volpe playing shortstop here this evening. I don't see anything on the injury report, so it may just be, giving him a couple days rest and whatnot. But ever since they brought in Juan Soto, that's been kind of the, main individual with Aaron Judge. Giancarlo Stanton's getting a little bit older. We know that he's got that home run power, whenever he plays. But, with the Bronx Bombers, it's not really Giancarlo and Aaron Judge anymore. It's like Soto and Judge. Those guys are, I believe they've had 44% of like the total home runs for the Yankees just between those two players right there. So, but again, I do watch, as many games as I can. I don't know when the last time Giancarlo played for the Yankees. I'd have to go back on ESPN.com and take a quick peek. But from what I can see, I don't see anything on the injury report. So I'm not really sure. We may see him pinch hit later in the game if he's available. But as far as I can see, there's nothing there that I can, I can see at the moment. Yeah, probably giving him time off, getting ready for, obviously the playoff push. And they don't really need him because, again, he's really slow. He can't really play defense and run around the bags very fast. Obviously he's a big guy and whatnot, but he's kind of getting towards the end of his career. So I imagine just giving him enough rest to, make sure that he's good to go for the playoff push is what they're doing. All right, top of the first, 0-0. Bryce Miller on the mound. It's Miller time, baby. First batter for the Mariners is Gleyber Torres. First pitch to Torres. Chop foul. Ahead of the count, 0-1. No balls and one strike. 3 for 4 this series for Gleyber Torres. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Jacob in the building. Zay in the building. What's good? Oh, 1 pitch. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Gleyber Torres. One pitch from Miller to Torres. Crushes that one towards first base, foul, about 10 rows back. A couple Yankee and Mariner fans battling it out for that foul ball. Great souvenir, especially right at the beginning of the game. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. That's going to be the magic number here tonight. And even if we hit that, we may not win, but I know it'll give us a hell of a lot better chance. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gleyber Torres. Come on, Bryce. We need you, baby. We need Miller time tonight. And again, as of late, Bryce Miller and Brian Wu have been the 2 best pitchers. We know Logan Gilbert and George Kirby have that all-star pedigree, but if you look at their win-loss record and their ERA, everyone is pretty similar. But, Wu and Miller are the only ones on the staff out of the 5 that have a winning record. Luis Castillo does not. Logan Gilbert does not. George Kirby does not. And that doesn't mean that they're bad pitchers. It's just that the offense hasn't helped them out. I think Logan Gilbert has gotten the least help out of any starting pitcher in MLB. So, again, if he got the help offensively, everyone would have an above 500 record for the Mariners. Torres on a 3-2 pitch. Hits it to Julio in center field. One away. No fly zone. We like that. Nice job, Julio. Good defense, brother. Next up for the Yankees, the Bronx Bomber, the new addition, Juan Soto. Whether you love Soto or you hate Soto, the bottom line is he might be a liability on defense from time to time, but the guy is one of the best pure hitters in baseball. 287 average, 40 home runs, 2 for 2 this series, a bajillion ribbies, and he's a guy that instantly, if he's on your team, he makes your team that much better. If you go back and look at last year's roster, with Giancarlo and Judge and the way that it sat, you knew they were decent, but they weren't going to win the World Series and they weren't going to make a deep run. But this year, with the addition of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge together, it's one of the best 1-2 punches in baseball, besides maybe Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, or Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, depending on whoever the hot guy is at the time. Career high 40 home runs this season for Soto. Pitches inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And I think the Yankees feel a little bit different aura and swagger this year with Juan Soto. 103 ribbies this season. His career high is 110, so he's going to smash that out of the park. And he did hit a home run in all 30 MLB parks this year. Inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. 285 career hitter. He's at 200 home runs for his career. 586 ribbies, 924 hits, and it wouldn't shock me if Soto ends up getting 500 or 600 home runs for his career if he can stay relatively healthy. 3-1 pitch, and that is low and into the dirt. Cal saves it, and he walked Juan Soto. Better than giving up a home run right out of the gates or a double. Next up, DHing for the Yankees, Aaron Judge. Pitch on the corner to Judge for a strike, 0-1 count. 323 average, 53 homers. 136 ribbies, no steroids, no PEDs, no Balco. Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani are ridiculous. It's awesome. It's even though it's like against the Mariners or whoever they play, it's hard not to be able to watch them, when they're on TV playing your favorite team, or if you have access to be able to watch the games. And anytime they go up to bat, that there's a chance that you're going to see a little bit of magic. Season versus the Mariners, ridiculous. 438 average, 2 homers and 7 ribbies for Aaron Judge. He owns the Mariners. The Judge is in. Court is in session. 0-2 pitch from Miller to Judge. Pitches outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Aaron Judge. And I don't really necessarily mind when Aaron Judge goes crazy. I just want to be competitive, towards the end of the game to give us a chance to win. If he wants to end up hitting a home run, or gets a few RBIs here and there, fine, as long as the Mariners can kind of keep it close. It's kind of cool to be able to see Judge hit a homer on TV or in person. Same thing with Shohei Ohtani. The crack of the bat when Judge homers or Ohtani homers is not like anything I've ever heard in my life. Besides maybe like in the steroid era, back with like Canseco, McGuire, Bonds, and Sosa. 2-2 pitch. That one is chop foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and we'll always be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. And I appreciate all of the love and support that we've been getting globally. We've been getting a lot of subs. We gained like 11 last night. So again, the reaction videos and the live streams are capturing a big audience from across the globe. And it really does mean a lot. You know, we got our male and female viewership. I would like to get the female viewership up a little bit higher, but to be able to expand the channel and to be able to get more fans of different ages, of different races all over the world, to be able to represent the NWSF is pretty amazing. Salute to everyone that has liked, sub, donated, commented, and shared at any given point on this channel. Top of the first, 0-0. Miller, 2-2 pitch to Aaron Judge. Chops it towards third base, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And it kind of feels like with Aaron Judge's 62 home run season where he beat Roger Maris, where that's like the real record, because, you know, anytime if Bonds has 70 plus, you know, he cheated. Big swing and a miss. Got him. There we go, Bryce. Hell of a start. But it feels like to me that the only person that might be able to beat Aaron Judge's record is Aaron Judge. Like, to me, I could definitely see Aaron Judge hitting 63, 65, or maybe even 70, you know, clean with no steroids. I mean, he's got that kind of talent. And obviously, if Ohtani got into a groove, you know, we could definitely see Ohtani hitting 50 to 65 home runs at some point before he retires as well. Those are the 2 best home run hitters in baseball. And coincidentally, they're the 2 best playing right now. Next up for the Mariners, Yankees, Austin Wells. A very rare punch out on Aaron Judge. We'll take it. 1 for 5 with a 3-run double last night. One 1-0 pitch is outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Austin Wells. Juan Soto at first. And they'll be aggressive, trying to move runners over. I'm not sure if they're going to be bunting at all. Not really something the Yankees do, but I know they'll be aggressive on the bags. 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike to Austin Wells. Juan Soto goes, and he steals second base easily. Standing up, no throw. Nice job, Juan. Yeah, matchups this week are going to be very close. And again, this is the deepest I feel the league has been based off, the competition factor. I've never lost in the first 2 weeks ever from playing, but when you go against a champ from last year, you always have a chance to, possibly lose. I've never had injuries this bad within the first 2 weeks where I'm missing my number 1 receiver and my number 1 running back, and it's week 2, and they're not out for like a week, they're out for like a month. So hopefully I can stay afloat, but I know there's going to be a lot of competitive matchups. Got him. There we go, Bryce. And it's up for grabs. Again, there's only 4 playoff spots. Right now, it looks like there's 6 teams that are kind of the front runners, and then you got the other 4 that are slightly behind, but that could catch up. It's just kind of a matter of if you work the wire, you get a little bit of lucky, with the injuries, and you hope that if you do have injuries, they're only minor, and it's just like questionable, and it's like, maybe a sore ankle, and they maybe miss like a week, but that's it. But if you end up being like me and you end up losing number 1 pick Christian McCaffrey, who normally puts up like 25 to 40 points, that's a big hit. You can't really replace that. And, losing Cooper Kupp on top of that, a guy that could get me 15 to 40 points, it's like I'm almost missing 50 points or more just on 2 guys. So it shows you if you have impact guys and they go down, instead of being, scoring or projected for 130 to 140 points, you might only be projected for 100 to 115, and you just got to hope that the guys play better that you have on the bench that, fill in. So fantasy is been pretty crazy this year. I think there's been more significant injuries with superstar players in the first 2 weeks than I've ever seen. Because normally it's just minor injuries, not like, oh my God, IR already, and we've had a lot of guys that have already been on IR within the first 2 weeks. I've never seen that before, but again, If you take it serious and you grind it out, you might be able to find yourself in the playoffs towards the end of the year. Nice job by Bryce Miller with the other punch out. I like it, baby. Bryce coming through. Nice job, baby. 2 punch outs for Bryce Miller. We'll take that. On pace for 10. And we have no Victor Robles since he ended up getting hit on the hand again. And it just seems like him and Randy Arozarena have been getting picked on as of late. He could not grip the bat this morning. So Victor is not playing, but hopefully he'll be playing tomorrow. So leading off for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. He wore some purple diamond clustered cleats yesterday, went 4 for 5, and we've seen him go 3 for 5, 4 for 5 a few times within the last week. So Julio's starting to get back on track. 268 average, 16 homers, 54 ribbies. And we definitely thought that Julio would be, around the 90 to 100 ribby range and sitting around, 25 to 30 homers at this point. 30 home runs, 30 stolen bags, kind of like he had in his rookie year in 2022 and 2023. But again, better late than never, and hopefully he can do some damage against nasty Nestor Cortez. And Nestor Cortez has got this weird delivery where he pauses right before he pitches. So he gets into his delivery, he kind of kicks his leg up, and then he just kind of stays there. And once in a while, he'll just throw it normal, but then other times he has this hezi, like in basketball, like a hesitation move. And it definitely fools the hitters. He hasn't really been doing too much of it yet, but we got to keep an eye on nasty Nestor Cortez. Chop foul behind the plate, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Cortez has 9 wins, 10 losses with an ERA of 3.90. So definitely a decent pitcher, but not something where it would be impossible to win. We just got to get off to a fast start on Nestor Cortez. I mean, I beat him twice last year, and then, I ended up losing in the championship. So, again, when you have someone that's got a deep team, you got to be able to bring your A game. And, again, you just have to pray that the guys that you have can match up to his. He's got 3 of the top 6 receivers, and usually me and him are going to have some of the top spots. Like a couple years ago, I had 3 of the top 4 running backs. But, again, you got to make sure you have good depth on the wide receiver and the running back, because if you're heavy on one and not the other, it sometimes will come back to bite you if you're thin in a position like me. So again, you have to try to do your best to figure out the right amount of running backs and wide receivers and not to be too heavy on one side or the other, because it just seems like if you end up being thin on one side, the sports gods can be cruel and you may have injuries and it's hard to recover from it. Cal Raleigh popped up, 2 away. But anything is possible in fantasy. Julio down. Big dumper down. Next up, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. And unfortunately, I peeked ahead and I looked at my weakest week where I have the most guys on a bye. And of course, it's week 11 when I play Reflect. So I'm going to go 0-2 against him. I just got to hope that I win the rest of the games in the season or only drop 1 or 2 more after that, if that is the case. And sometimes that's just the way that it works. Unfortunately, I match up with him on my weakest week. So, if I got 3 or 4 guys on a bye out of 9, even if you have a strong bench, depending on who those players are, sometimes you're just going to lose when you have a lot of guys on a bye. It's just nothing you can do. 1-1 pitch. Pitch on the corner for a strike to Randy Arozarena. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And I feel it's very difficult to win when you have your weakest week. Like most people lose. Like I would say 95% of people lose on the week that they have the most guys on a bye. It's just too hard to recover from. I mean, unless you're playing against someone that's not playing and they just gave up and they have a bunch of guys that are like injured or, not playing or have a bye week and they just left him in the lineup, then you might be able to win. But if you're playing against someone that's trying, you're probably going to lose. Pitch low down out of the zone for strike 3. Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, I got more running backs than him. Me and him always load up on running backs or wide receivers, just kind of depending on what we do. But he's got 7, I got 8. So we already got like half of the running backs in the league just on his team and mine. So again, you have to make, and just because you got them doesn't mean that all those guys are producing. But again, you got to make sure you realize what positions are thin, and if you have a strategy, then that's the way that you go. But again, me and him are always going to draft, and we're always going to pick up similar type of players. And really, the thing with him, is having Jalen and Kyler, but on top of that, is having 3 of the top 6 wide receivers. So as long as CD can stay healthy, right, and you end up having a healthy dose of Nico Collins, as well as the rest of his roster. Again, his roster kind of looks, I feel like mine, except mine's all beat up and hurt, and his isn't, even though he's got a couple guys questionable for this week, but he doesn't have season ending or guys on IR for a month like me. Like, I think most people, if you were missing your number 1 receiver and number 1 running back, most people in our league would be fucked. But, luckily I did good, obviously on the wire and in my draft. But if I would have known that the Niners were lying about CMC's health, I would have taken Breece Hall, number 1, and then maybe I would have went Nico Collins. That's probably, in hindsight, what I should have done. But I, trusted the 49ers that CMC was okay. They lied, and now I have to pay the price. But, if he ends up coming back healthy, week 5 for the rest of the season, then, I know I'm going to mash everybody in the league with the rest of the team that I have, and I'm going to be very competitive. But if he ends up being healthy and then not, then it might be a long season for me, with Cooper Kupp and Run CMC. I mean, that's like 50 points a week right there that I'm not getting. So let's go to the top of the second, 0-0, Mariners and Yankees. Sarah with $1, appreciate you. $1 holla, stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang, 99 to go. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for a photo, and I got you. Yeah, and every week it will be different. Like sometimes you'll only have a couple red matchups, and then sometimes every spot is red. Sometimes sports fantasy can be really unfair. It's just the way that the schedule lines up, and it's based on the matchups. Who matches up against wide receivers good defensively or tight ends, and sometimes you just get screwed where you end up looking at your team and you're like, I got an all-star team, but when you see red, you can still score points, but obviously not as good as if it was neutral or if it was green. 0-2 pitch to Jazz Chisholm Jr. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But at least for most of y'all, you guys haven't had to have the injury bug. Obviously, Chief has got hit the hardest, and he's in last place because of it. So, and I feel that even though I'm not, in bad of as a position as him, it's definitely making me a little worried. Tag out at first, 1 away. Down goes Jazz with the little grounder there. Next up for the Yankees, center fielder Jason Dominguez. Megan with a 10er, appreciate you. We're at 11. 89 to go. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Wow. Cardinals is going crazy, huh? Jason Dominguez batting 167, 1 homer and 1 ribby. Obviously just getting newly called up, but you can tell with his frame, he's built kind of like Aaron Judge or like a Giancarlo Stanton or a Soto. I mean, he's definitely a thicker baseball player that's got the power. And he obviously hit a solo homer last night against us. Of course he did. Pitches outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Jason Dominguez. Come on, Bryce. Pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jason Dominguez. Come on, Bryce. Wheel and deal, baby. Wheel and deal. We need the best version of Bryce Miller here tonight if we have any chance. I don't know if the Yankees are like the Mariners when they put up a lot of runs the night before. Maybe the next day will be a little bit less. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I know the Mariners are that way. If we put up 8, 9, 10, the next game we usually put up like 1 or none. So, and I highly doubt the Yankees are going to put up a 0, but hopefully it's like 3 or less. and we have a good chance to get to 4 or 5, and we can end up winning 4-3 or 5-4. Top of the second, 0-0 Yankees and Mariners. Nobody on, 1 out. Bryce Miller, 34 pitches in, 3-2 pitch to Dominguez. Fouled off. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. And we're going to end up doing the Patriots and the Jets tomorrow. And on paper, to some people that may be boring, because obviously the Patriots and Jets are nobody's really first choice to watch unless you are a Patriot or a Jet fan. But sometimes matchups on paper that look boring end up being a pretty good game in real life. And it ends up being a divisional matchup too, so they'll be hungry to beat each other. And I wouldn't be shocked if New England ends up beating the Jets. I think the Jets are a better team, but New England is kind of scrappy, and they have a lot to prove. So I feel that, if they lose, it probably won't be by very much. I'm hoping that it ends up being a pretty competitive matchup. But you never know. Maybe the Jets will put it into gear with Aaron Rodgers and Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, and the Jet defense will look like a top 5 D, and maybe they will win by 10 or 20. But we'll have to wait till tomorrow on Thursday Night Football and find out. 1-0 pitch to Anthony Rizzo. PJ in the building. What's good, brother? Runner goes. Whoa. Cal Raleigh, wild throw, and Dominguez stole second and safe at third. A very rare wild throw there by Cal Raleigh. Normally always on point, but it looked like it slipped out of his hand. Doesn't get his feet underneath him, and it goes wide right, about 5 feet from the second baseman. Shortstop. Top of the second, 0-0. Runner at third with 1 out. 2-0 pitch from Bryce Miller to Anthony Rizzo coming in. 222 average, 3 homers, and 23 ribbies. Nice base knock by Rizzo. And that brings in Dominguez. 1-0 Yankees. That was quick. Jeffrey in the building. What's good? Next up for the Yankees, shortstop Anthony Volpe. Got to get out of this inning here. Hopefully Volpe will hit into a double play. Pitches inside. 1-0 count to Volpe, batting 8th in the order, had yesterday off. Up-and-coming player, 246 average, 11 homers, and 55 ribbies for Volpe. But Bryce Miller has done well. I mean, up to this point, it's not like he's given up 5 runs. Double play. Yeah, my ESP is on point. There we go. Double play for Volpe. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that. And the damage is done, but at least we get out of the inning not down 2, 3, 4 runs. And usually Bryce, he gets into these modes where if he's on, he'll only give up maybe 1 or none within the first 4 innings. But when he's off, he might give up 4 or 5 runs within the first 2 innings. So far, so good. I mean, obviously, it would be nice to be 0-0, but I'll take it. 1-0 Yankees. Let's see who's up next here for Seattle. And then let me know what you want to do for photos, Sarah and Megan, and then I'll sprinkle those in between the innings. We're at 11:89 to go, and I haven't checked to see where we're at on the likes, but hopefully we're close to 10. If not that, hopefully we're there, and then hopefully we can get to 20 within the first hour. Next up for the Mariners in the cleanup role, first baseman Justin Turner. Batting second in the 5-hole, second baseman Jorge Polanco. And batting third in the 6-hole, DHing Mitch Garver. All right, we're at 9. We need one more to get to 10. So if you are in the room and haven't smashed it, please do. Now we're at 11. We got a couple more. Now we only need 9 more to get to 30, or 9 more to get to 20, excuse me, and then we're on our way. Thank you, guys. We're at 11. 9 more to go. All right, you want some Aaron Judge? I'm going to sprinkle in a couple of these here, and I'll try to see if I can grab a few more. So obviously, we have that one. We'll have this one, and I'll see what others I can find as we go through the broadcast. Let's go, JT. Turner. Popped up. Foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to JT. Turner crushes that one, but it doesn't have the distance all the way back to the wall, but it is safe. Wow. What a blunder there. And Turner ends up getting a stand-up double off a play that should have been a routine pop-up in the outfield. I don't know what happened there, but we'll take it. Jason Dominguez, what happened, brother? I thought for sure that's an out, but Dominguez must have lost it in the lights or something. I don't know what the hell happened there, but we'll take it. Next up, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. Yeah, but if you're Jeffrey, if you're a real Mariners fan, you want the Mariners to win. You know, if you're fair weather or you just don't give a shit, then you want the Yankees to win. So obviously you're not like a real Mariner fan, because no real Mariner fan would want the Yankees to win. I'm sorry, bro. I mean, regardless if we're not going to make the playoffs or not, you know, a real fan is going to want the team to win no matter what. Doesn't matter if we're playing the Yankees or if we're playing the fucking Athletics. You want to be able to get the dubs. Just because the organization up at the top with the owner and GM and the managers typically aren't, you know, so to speak, the greatest, doesn't mean that you just need to give up on the team altogether. Yeah. Enough of you, bro. I don't need your donos. I don't need your donos. I don't need your fake support. I need real fans, not fake ones. You can always watch the stream somewhere else. Top of the second, nah. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Yankees. Runner at second, nobody on. 2-2 pitch by Polo popped up. 1 away. That's the last type of fan that we want here on this channel. A fake one. He can keep that money to himself. Next up for the Mariners, DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Money isn't everything, okay? It's all about good vibes here. We don't need no negative Nancy's here. Cortez, pitch to Mitch Garver, fouled that one back, 0-1 count. David in the building. What's good, brother? 0-1 pitch. Down at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. You're going to the Mariner game tomorrow? Hell yeah. You know, anyone that says something like that isn't a real Mariner fan. I mean, even if you're upset with the, you know, Stanton and DePoto and Service and Dan Wilson, and obviously, you know, the Mariners are a small market team. It's very hard for us to be able to do what the big boys do. We get it. But anyone that has comments like that is not a real fan. That is not someone that actually buys the gear, goes to the games, that actually wants the team to win. That is just someone that wants to complain when things are going bad. Not a true fan. That's a fake fan, not real. No one would want the team that has a chance to make the playoffs, even if we were the last team to get in, right? You never know what can happen when you get into the dance. Again, you can end up being that last wild card team in the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, the NFL, and you might be able to spark a little bit of magic, even if you're the worst team in the playoffs, but you're in. That you never know what could possibly happen once you get in. You might be able to put it together. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Mitch Garver, 2 away. Don't know why the hell he's DHing right now. But I guess that's the route that we're going. Next up, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. But no real fan would ever say that they would want the Yankees just to beat the brakes off of us and don't want us to be in the playoffs. I mean, even if we were like the White Sox and we had that type of record, I'm still going to try to compete and win, Oh, you got your third Alvin Kamara jersey. Nice. Congratulations. That will be awesome. Run to first. There you go. There we go. I appreciate that because I'll pick up Shakir and I'll drop DeMarcus Robinson. So, again, you got to be able to look at these wide receivers and decide who do you think is going to have the best fit. Who's got the best quarterback. Shakir, obviously, we know has got Josh Allen. So if you drop him, I'll pick him up. And hopefully Jennings works out. If you want DeMarcus Robinson, you can have him. The only problem is like, you don't have offensive linemen that are there. There's no Cooper Kupp and there's no Puka Nacua. So I feel that with the offensive line being beat up, Stafford isn't very good right now. So with like Tyler Johnson and DeMarcus Robinson, they might be able to get, to 10 to 15 points, but I don't know how many touchdowns they're going to be able to get. And they might not really be doing as much as people think. You might be able to get the targets. But again, with 2 or 3 starters off that offensive line, I feel that Kyron Williams is going to struggle a little bit for reflect. But luckily he has depth, with Mixon and David Montgomery. So he's fine there. But I feel that the Rams wide receivers is kind of a crapshoot because you also got Tutu Atwell, you got Tyler Johnson, you got, these individuals like DeMarcus Robinson. We don't really know. They can always put the projection that DeMarcus is going to be the one, but we don't really know until the games, end up being played. So for me, I ended up having Shakir earlier and then I dropped him. Then you picked him up and then you dropped him. But I feel more comfortable with him, with Josh Allen, than I do with Matthew Stafford in a beat-up offensive line. So, if anyone wants to grab, DeMarcus Robinson for extra depth, be my guest. But, again, you just have to be able to get guys that you feel comfortable with. Now, if I felt the offensive line for the Rams was intact, then I probably would have kept him. And then maybe would have tried to grab Shakir at some point if someone dropped him. But, everyone's going to have, their feelings on who they trust and who they don't. And for me right now, we don't really know who the Buffalo Bill number 1 receiver is. We assume it's Shakir, even though the numbers aren't going to be like Stephon Diggs, but they could be. later as the season goes on. But hopefully it works out for you and Jennings. Anyone that wants Demarcus Robinson, be my guest. And again, I'm happy to add a piece like that. And hell, maybe I'll even start Shakir because I got Mike Evans with a number 1 red matchup against Denver's defense. And Patrick Surtain, who's held DK Metcalf and George Pickens to 3 catches and 30 yards. I can't afford for Mike Evans to put up a 3, after already putting up a 7 last week. So I appreciate that. You get what you want. I get what I want. And maybe I'll have to start Shakir and Jerry Jeudy. It's not ideal instead of having Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp. But if those guys can put up 10 to 15, anything is possible. So there we go. Kind of funny too, because I had a feeling that you were going to do that at some point, Sarah. But again, you just have to be able to decide who you feel is, your best fit. Who you think is going to be able to score, the most points. And obviously, with Debo out, Brock Purdy is healthy, so you would feel that Juwan Jennings will, probably get more looks. But again, it's kind of a crapshoot when you get these receivers that are second tier. Everyone is hoping for 10 to 20 points. Sometimes they're going to get 5, sometimes they're going to get 8, but other times they will hit double digits, but it's always kind of a crapshoot with the second tier wide receivers that aren't top tier. They might blow up for a game or two, and then they might end up, shitting the bed for a 5 to an 8 for a couple weeks. So you definitely have to monitor the targets and then just go with your gut. Yeah, I tried getting Hunter Henry on the wire, but I already knew that some of y'all, I tried getting Carr as a quarterback too. I'm always trying to, get my team to be a little bit deeper, throw to first, 1 away. But again, when you're on the wire and there's so many people competing, you're not going to be able to get every piece that you want. So, but I tried grabbing Hunter. And again, he had 1 bad game and then he had 1 really good one. So we don't really know if they're going to you assume, since they don't really have a lot of wide receivers, they got Ramondre Stevenson, but they don't really have a standout receiver. So you would assume that Henry's going to be the main target. But it's just some game script, he's not going to put up big numbers. But in other games, he will. It just depends on, are they going to play, and focus on him like they did last game? Or is it going to be something like in the, game number 1 where he only had about 5 points? Or is it going to be something kind of in between where instead of he, putting up 20 or putting up 5, maybe he puts up like 8, and obviously if you can get as close to double digits with tight end, it's a win, because right now the tight end position is garbage. Not a lot of production out of the tight end. So that was a good pickup with the Hunter Henry. I got Sam Laporta and the motherfucker is putting up 3, and he's supposed to be the best tight end. He was number 1 in fantasy points last year. If I knew the Lions weren't going to give him the ball this year, I would have taken Brock Bowers first overall out of the tight ends, even over Kelsey and Kittle and Andrews, even over Laporta. I would have taken the rookie because I know rookies tend to blow up. And that's why it's always good to have at least 1 or 2 on your roster at some point in the season or in the draft. And as you have seen, some of y'all, especially you ladies that have some of these rookies, you've been able to benefit from it with a Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Brock Bowers. Sometimes those guys will be a focal point. And congratulations to the people in the room that grabbed those individuals. I tried, but I couldn't get them. Chopper. Go to first. 2 away. Top of the third, 1-0 Yankees. Next up for the Yankees, right fielder Juan Soto. No, it doesn't work like that, Matt, because obviously you don't want collusion, where you get someone just giving up and then they release all their players. That's why we don't do trades in the league. We want to make sure it's as fair as possible. You have to be intelligent, you have to have a good draft, and you have to work the wire. If you want to win the championship, it's not going to be just based on someone giving up and just giving up their good players on a team that's like 0-10 to someone that already is very, very good to kind of get them over the top. So if that ends up being Chief will Chief and he ends up being the worst team, and at some point if he ends up giving up, it kind of seems like almost every year we'll have at least one person give up at some point or another. But again, if we can get as many people to be competitive and play, until towards the end, that would be great. I don't really like when people give up, but I do understand why, especially if you're in last place or, there's no chance for the playoffs and there's only a few weeks left. But I know I would complete it all the way to the very end, but again, some people do more than one fantasy league, and sometimes, it's just not important to them, especially if they know they're not going to the playoffs or if they're not going to the championship. So, but I think a majority of the people that we have in the league would try, for the most part. So it's very competitive. 3-1 pitch from Miller to Soto. Pitch is on the corner, and that is a strike, even though Soto was walking to first. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Soto crushes that one. How did that stay fair? He is a fucking wizard. Throw to second. Got him. Oh, they said he's safe. We need a replay. Give me a replay real quick. That was a hell of a slide by Soto, but he might have been out. Let's take a quick replay real quick and see. That was a hell of a throw by Haniger in right field. Yeah, you just, sometimes it's game script, and sometimes tight ends are going to be targeted, because they have to go to checkdowns and screens and they can't get it to their receivers. So, sometimes that'll happen, where you'll end up having, a player that we know is talented, but that's just not getting targeted, So, I get how that works, and they just intentionally walked Aaron Judge. Unfortunately, I would rather pitch to him, but I know the Mariners are trying to win this game. Or it's a guy like Amari Cooper. We know normally Amari Cooper is a top 15, top 20 receiver, but he's only been getting like 3 points a game. And I got Jerry Jeudy because Judy's been getting about 6, 7, 8 targets a game. And even though Judy's the 2, he's been treated like the 1. And Deshaun Watson doesn't have a very good connection with Amari Cooper, even though we know Amari put up a 50-point game last year. And Amari normally is a top 15, top 20 receiver. But again, if the quarterback isn't targeting the ball, you can't continuously keep a player like that. Sometimes you can't even keep him on the bench because it's like you got other spots that need work. And you just can't hang on to a guy that's just, name recognition only, and that's probably the biggest shocker this year. Guys like Amari Cooper and a few others that just haven't been able to live up to their recognition because the quarterbacks aren't getting them the ball. Or maybe like a Cortland Sutton for Matt's Broncos because Bo Nix just can't get him the ball. But when Russell Wilson was there, Cortland Sutton was a fantasy threat. He was scored in almost every game last year. And there's a reason why some of us had him. But again, it depends on the QB and the scheme and if they're getting enough targets. And if you're not getting enough targets, then the guys are worthless, until they do. And then they're worth a roster spot, possibly. Pitch in the corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. But, you never really know how the coaches are going to, give the targets. It might be very piss poor for the first couple games, and then who knows? Maybe Amari Cooper will end up being a legitimate fantasy threat later in the year. But that Brown offense is kind of fucked up right now. So top of the third, 1-0 Yankees. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 3-1 pitch from Miller to Wells. Chris in the building. What's good, brother? Bases loaded. Always, brother. Always. I just got bad injuries this year. With my number 1 running back and my number 1 receiver, I got fucking CMC and Cooper Kupp already on IR, and it's week 2. So I've never lost within the first 2 weeks ever, and I'm 1-1. Lost to the champ from last year. We both had shitty weeks. It was like 125 to 110, so it's not like I got smoked by 40 or 50, but we both had bad weeks. But, I wasn't anticipating 4 of my guys, getting 9 points or less, and then Cooper Kupp getting hurt. And anytime you end up having a star player get hurt in a game, you lose 9 times out of 10. Especially if it ends up being a big player like Cooper Kupp, where, he can put up 20, 30, 40, 50 points by himself. And, if he ends up getting injured and leaves me with a 7, chances are you're fucked. So you got the same players too? Hopefully you end up having enough depth. Obviously I feel like my team is still good enough to win the championship and get there. But again, I'm just not accustomed to those type of things. I got Baker, James Conner, Tony Pollard, Judy, Shakir, Laporta, Jordan Mason, obviously to replace CMC, Chargers D, Aubrey, the best kicker in the game. I got Charbonnet, Nick Chubb, Mike Evans, Jerome Ford, Cooper Kupp, AR, Rashad White, and Christian McCaffrey. So I have like an all-star team on the bench, but I can't even use half of the guys because they're fucking hurt. So I'm hoping, by the time we get to week 5, week 6, everyone will be healthy, and then I can start to dominate again. 0-1 pitch to Chisholm on the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. And I'll try to get a few more photos of Aaron Judge. And then, Megan, you want your regulars? Let me know. Okay, you answered right there. As soon as I was asking, you typed it in. Gotcha. That one, chop foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But injuries can really derail you, And again, like with Sarah, Sarah is better than the record. And again, we got 3 females in the league. And obviously, Zini's got a strong team. That hasn't really been hit too hard besides Pacheco. Megan has been pretty much injury-free so far, and some of us haven't. But, again, you just got to get your first win, Sarah. And once you get your first win, as long as it's not like by week 6, week 7, you're still going to be in it. I mean, this is the first time that we've only had 2 people undefeated, a bunch that are 1-1, and 2 teams that are 0-2. And your team is better than Chief Will Chiefs with all his injuries. And you're going to put more effort. So as long as you don't give up, you're going to be able to climb back into the standings. It's very competitive, in the league. And again, injuries can really change everything. And just because teams haven't got hurt yet doesn't mean that they won't. Again, it's better to get some of those injuries out early and then to be able to have your star players late rather than be injury-free for half the season. And then when you think you're going to win it all, then all of a sudden you get your star players out for the year. And then you might not be able to recover. So we'll see how it goes. Sounds like you got almost the same type of players as me. I got Pollard. I got Ford. I obviously have Chubb if he ends up doing anything. Shakir. I got Shakir. I just got him. Yeah. Keenan, even though he's a little fat now. T, injured. DK. Yeah, it's kind of funny when you end up drafting the same type of players in the order that sometimes you end up having some of the same similar players, just based off the rotation of the draft. Certain minds will think alike. They say great minds think alike, but other times in fantasy, you just never know what you're going to end up getting. So hopefully, what's your record right now in fantasy? Are you at least 1-1? You're not 0-2, are you? Because I know most people that have McCaffrey, and if you end up having another big player that got hurt, I know a lot of people are 0-2, but hopefully you're at least 1-1. And again, I kind of feel like I got robbed in game, week number 2. But again, if you got 4 spots that hit 9 or less, you're going to lose unless somebody hits a 30, 40, 50, or you have a couple. So, but good luck this year on your fantasy team. And hopefully your injuries will stop with CMC and Kupp and you don't have any more. And again, if you have CMC and Kupp injured, you have the most significant injuries out of anybody in the league because there's no one else that's got a number 1 running back and a number 1 receiver that could put up 50 points between the 2 of them every week. That's out. No one is dealing with that besides us. So throw to first, 1 away. Get a couple of these photos up here for Megan. We're in the bottom of the 3rd, 1-0 Yankees. And I'll get a few more once we get into commercial break, but just to hold you over. Next up for the Mariners, Seattle Mariners, Julio Rodriguez. Most career 4-hit games in Mariner history. Ichiro with number 1, 48. Edgar, 26. Number 2, Griffey. Number 3, 22. Julio is 4th, 5th, 6th. So Ichiro got way more 4-hit games than anyone else. I don't know if anyone will catch him. Maybe Julio, by the time he gets into 15, 20 years in. Throw to first. Got him. 2 away. Me too. I didn't even want it, and honestly, if I would have known that the Niners weren't being truthful about the number 1 pick, about like McCaffrey's health, we both would have went Breece Hall and maybe like Nico Collins, and we would have went down that path, something of that nature. So I feel that since the Niners lied about CMC's health, because if I would have known there was a chance that he wouldn't have played game 1, I would have stayed away. I just would have went Breece Hall and just, rolled the dice. I don't like having the number 1 pick either. The best pick to have is like number 4, number 4 or number 5, in a 10-man snake league. So sounds like you and me are we're linked in the brain. We're lined up perfectly. Because I'm the same way, bro. Just got to make the most of it. So yeah, we got a similar squad. So yeah, check in with me. You have any questions on any players or anything that strategy wise? You come here and I'll give you the truth on what I think that would be the best for you, considering we have about 70% of the same roster, so maybe even 80%. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss to Cal Raleigh behind in the count 0-2. Come on, Cal. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20. We've already cracked the 1 hour mark. I haven't checked in a minute. 0-2 pitch from Cortez to Raleigh. Let's see where we're at here. 1-0 Yankees. Much better than yesterday. Cal, line drive. And that is out number 3. All right, we're at 12. We need 8 more. Now we got 13. We're 7 more away from 20. So if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20. It'll help us with the algorithm tremendously. Let's get some more photos up here. And for the people that are in the room, for the mods, let's make sure we're going over that. I don't like to be able to say it, verbally so often, but sometimes, people ignore the chat and they see people typing in there, but they just don't give a fuck for whatever reason, For us, the regulars, we care and we'll read them and we'll interact with each other. But I feel for some of the looky-loos or for people that never type, and they're just watching, sometimes verbally they need to hear it, for them to actually push the button. So questionable just means that they may or may not play. If you get a D, that's doubtful. That means that they're probably not playing, that the injury is too severe, that you want to probably put those guys on your bench. Q is questionable. You can keep those in your starting lineup, but just monitor before the games get started. And then D is a doubtful, so you probably want to move that guy from the starting lineup to the bench, because that probably means they're not going to be able to play. They're too injured. And then if they're on IR, that means injured reserve. That means the player is hurt so much that they can't physically play at all, and they've been put on an IR list, injured reserve, which means that they can't play for a month. And they're on that list. And each team has a certain amount of IR, players that they can put on in a season. So anytime you end up being on the injured list, that doesn't mean that you need to get rid of that player, because normally it ends up being like a superstar, like with me, Cooper Kupp and Christian McCaffrey. I'm not getting rid of them. I just have to keep them on my bench, and it wastes a spot where I could end up having someone maybe I could play, but the players are so good, you just have to wait that 4 or 5 week period until they're healthy. And then you can, the injury list designation, the IR will go away. And then, they'll be listed as nothing, obviously healthy, a Q, questionable, or a D, doubtful. So, yeah, Rome isn't good enough to play. Your lineup, you've been watching the games and, you're going through there. Rome isn't good enough. Like I said, you can have guys on your team, but that doesn't mean they're worth starting. It's like Caleb Williams and some of the guys that you have. There's no reason that you would ever put them in the lineup. Like, you like them, and they are, part of the USC thing, and, you can root for certain pieces, but until certain players start putting up good stats, that's the only reason why you would want to substitute a player in. So regardless if Rome had a Q or a not, and he was healthy, you would never play him. He's just not good enough to play compared to the other players that you already have in your starting lineup. You always want to make sure you're clicking on the names and you're looking at the points. You're looking at the targets, the yards. You want to make sure you're looking at the stats, not just looking at the projected number every week. Because, it can say, 15, but that doesn't mean they're going to get 15. It's just a projection. Top of the fourth, 1-0 Yankees. Britt in the building. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, again, if you want to drop them and try to find some other piece that's more talented that has better numbers, yeah. Again, I wouldn't tell you to drop someone if I didn't, like I said, you have to use your, your own evaluations. But again, that's kind of a reason why people do fantasy, so you can pay attention to more teams than just your own, so you can become smarter, and you can also figure out who's good in the league and who's not, and then who's going to be a good fit for your fantasy team moving forward. You want to make sure that the bench has players that you actually would put in, and that's when when your bench is good, when you actually have two starting lineups, where you can actually substitute almost anybody on the bench as long as they're not injured into the starting lineup. And obviously that's easier said than done. You have to be a mastermind to be able to construct a fantasy roster like that. But you at least want to be able to have a couple options on the bench that you may be able to substitute in here and there when your starters have a red or bad matchup. Rizzo popped up, fading foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, with both of those, you just keep them both, because obviously if one gets hurt, then you're already set up with the other one. And then, strike 3, got him. And again, you just have to use your judgment. That's why sometimes when you have too many players at a position, sometimes it's like paralysis by analysis. If you got 7, 8 running backs or 7, 8 wide receivers, and you only have 2 or 3 spots, you better do your research and put yourself in the best position to win. Otherwise, you're going to be leaving a lot of points on the bench, and you might lose because you end up having, 80 points on the bench where you have a guy that put up 20 on the bench, and then a guy that you have in the starting lineup that put up 5. And if you would have just made the change, maybe you would have won. But that's kind of the crapshoot in fantasy. You really have to do a lot of research, and you have to be able to look at the matchups, green, neutral, red, home and away, projections. Are they injured? Are they healthy? You have to look at a lot of factors, and then at one point or another, you roll the dice and just pray that that player that you have in there hits. Bryce Miller, 72 pitches in. He's been pitching well. He's been our second best pitcher as of late to Brian Wu, even over Gilbert and Kirby, because they haven't been getting run support. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Anthony Volpe. DX in the building. What's good? Pitches outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. Pitch on the corner. Got him. I don't know. It kind of depends if you have back problems or not, but obviously I've slept on the floor with my pup. And again, obviously sleeping on a couch, a futon, a cot, a mattress, a bed is, better. But every once in a while, obviously sleeping on the floor can get rough, if you got back issues, but sometimes it can help your back a little bit, as long as it's not for a long period of time and whatnot. It just kind of depends on what kind of position that you're in, but at least sounds like it was only for a night, and then you're going to get all the rest of your furniture and bed and mattress and whatnot, and you'll be sleeping much better tonight. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Yankees. See if I can find another Aaron Judge photo here for Sarah, and then see what I can get for Megan as well. Or I can get a combo. I got a little collage here. It's got Aaron Judge and everybody else on it. This is kind of cool. And let's see if I get one more Aaron Judge in here. And then anything that you want to see specific besides the Stefan photos, anything else that you want, Megan, let me know. Bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Yankees. I got to make some room and delete some of these. Appreciate you. Next up for the Mariners, Randy Arozarena. 2 balls and no strikes to Randy. 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the first. Pitch is outside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Mariners. I got you. Let him know. Big swing and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I did get a few people that ended up sending me that information that the state of Oregon and Portland is going to get a WNBA team in 2 years. I probably will go. I'm not going to go often, but if like Caitlin Clark is in town, me and my buddy Justin would probably, at some point, probably go just to kind of see the vibe. Obviously we know there are going to be a lot of fathers and daughters, a lot of young women that are going to be looking up to these female icons and role models. But I don't really know what Portland's team's going to look like. They'll be an expansion team, so their team will probably be not very good. But, if there's going to be, Sabrina Noscu from the Liberty, if she comes to town, or Caitlin Clark comes in from the Indiana Fever, yeah, maybe I'll go in a couple years once they get it all set up and check out a game or two. So, obviously we would rather have like a professional NHL team or a baseball team, if like the Oakland A's came, obviously that would be probably a little bit better for, the state. But again, we'll take anything that we can get professionally wise. And we know the Sonics are coming back pretty soon as well in the Pacific Northwest. So just a matter of time. Justin Turner, slow dribbler to third, throw to second. Got him at the force out, 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman Jorge Polanco, 0 for 1. Let's make it 1 for 2. And at least we're not getting blasted right now like yesterday, where we lost 11-2. But we definitely need to be able to try to tie this game up within the next 3 innings, either here in the 5th or the 6th. I don't know how many runs, the Yankees have in store on the back end of this game, but again, with it being such a close matchup and they already put up 11 yesterday, a lot of times when you put up a big number the night before, usually it's much less the next day. At least it is for the Mariners, and it looks like it's the same for the Yankees, but the Yankees definitely are a much better hitting team than the Mariners, so it wouldn't surprise me if they blow up for 4, 5, 6 runs in a particular inning or over a couple innings as the game goes on. I just got to hope that we are tied up at that point and we're close. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Yankees, runner at first with 1 out. Cortez on the mound, dribbler up the middle, and he bobbled it, and he dove to second base to get the force out. Good awareness there. Wasn't pretty, but they'll take it. 2 away. Yeah, I highly doubt we would get an NHL team either. I mean, the Portland Winterhawks are fun, in the WHL. They've won championships in that particular league. But, yeah, I mean, I think since Seattle is there, that's enough for Oregonians as well as people in Seattle and in Washington. I don't know if they really call themselves Washingtonians, but we call ourselves Oregonians. So as far as the Pacific Northwest is concerned, yeah, I don't see, an NHL team coming anytime soon either. Obviously they only have so many spots for expansion teams to be able to grow. And usually you're going to have to do like 2 at a time, because you're either going to be at 30 or 32. So you just can't have one. Typically you're going to have 2. So that way you're keeping an even number. Garver, that one is fouled back about 20 rows. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, and plus Oregon and Washington, though, DX, it's different, though. I mean, we're not New York, If we were as big as New York or California, yeah, there's going to be multiple teams of multiple sports. But when you're a smaller state like Oregon and Washington, you're only going to have so much room to do what you do. But Seattle should have never lost the Sonics to begin with, so that'll be good that they have them back. And, we got the Ducks, we got the Beavers, and we got the Blazers. We got the Winterhawks. Obviously, we got the Thorns for the women in soccer, and obviously, we got men's soccer here as well. So, I mean, obviously, we'll see how things, progress as the years go on. And we got the Timbers. So, I mean, at least when we have teams, usually they're pretty competitive. But it would be cool one day to have an NHL team in Oregon or a baseball team. I just don't know if the logistics, the money, that you have to have a land, for the stadium, the taxes, people have to be on board, but I definitely think that if we ever did, Oregonians would definitely support an NHL team or an MLB team. But I'm happy being a Kraken fan, and so I don't have any plans on switching, so. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Yankees. Runner at first with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch from Cortez to Mitch Garver. Oh, wow. That one was strike 3, but for whatever reason, the ump called that a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, but it also depends on what other sports are in the state as well, and also land. There's a lot of factors involved to be able to have a pro team. It's not like anyone can just fucking raise their hand and say, yep, I want a pro team, and then you get one. There's a lot that goes involved to being able to have a pro team, in your particular state. Not every state is going to be able to have one. Three-two pitch from Cortez to Garver, and he walked him. Next up, shortstop J.P. Crawford. We got runners at first and second. We can't have too many of these missed opportunities. Got to take advantage. Pitch on the corner for a strike. But I wish the Portland Beavers were still around, the AAA affiliate, from the Twins when I was a kid. I wish that was still around. I know a lot of people enjoy soccer, football, but I'm more, obviously hockey, baseball kind of guy. And JP popped up, and that will be the end of the 4th inning. But it's like if we had at least the AAA team here, then obviously that would kind of help out a little bit. So if you didn't want to drive all the way to Seattle from Oregon for 3.5 hours, you could drive 30 minutes and then see like a AAA game. And, back then the Beavers were very competitive and it was fun. One obviously level below the pros, and back when Kirby Puckett and, the Twins were champions, the Portland Beavers were affiliates to them, and it was cool, but it only lasted for a certain amount of years, obviously way back in the day. And then obviously they started switching, to different affiliates, to different teams. Then it ended up being, the Portland Beavers got transitioned to the Portland Rockies, and then back to the Portland Beavers. And then it ended up being a different team than the Twins. That was the affiliate, and things started to kind of go downhill from there. But I did end up going to the very last Portland Beaver game in Oregon, where they ended up doing the AAA All-Star game in Oregon. And this was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And Marcos and me, we didn't go together, but we both went. And I remember it was like 110 degrees that day. It was fun. And again, there was a lot of talent out there, but, we'll see, one day if we can end up expanding. But, at least it's not too far to go to Seattle, only a few hours of a drive. Top of the fifth, 1-0 Yankees. Mariners blow another opportunity to catch up. Hopefully we can end up coming back and tying this up at some point or another. See who's up next. Here for the Yankees. Next up for the Yankees, left fielder Alex Verdugo. Batting second baseman Gleyber Torres. And batting third, right fielder Juan Soto. $30-45 from Iowa Cubs. Oh man, if I was that close, yeah, I would be going pretty often. I mean, as long as I had time to do so. But that's the one thing in Oregon that I miss more than anything. I mean, we got the, Portland Winterhawks has been the WHL team forever, but obviously we got the Kraken in Washington now, really close. So obviously I'm going to try to make my way up there at some point or another. But yeah, if you do have a AAA affiliate in your hometown state, be thankful for that. If you are a baseball fan, I mean, I guess if you're not, then it doesn't matter. But, I have a lot of great memories from 7 to 12 years old on going to the Portland Beavers and trying to get baseballs and autographs and spraining my ankle, getting memorabilia, getting batting gloves while sneaking down to the front row, yelling at the players, getting a couple foul balls and spraining my ankle. I will never, ever sell that memorabilia, and those memories are locked in forever. And it kind of set the tone for me to prepare me to get a ball for the Mariners in the big leagues, since I ended up getting 2 when I was 10. So I kind of already knew the honey badger mentality even back when I was young. Lots of kids fighting for those baseballs, let me tell you. 0-1 pitch from Miller to Torres. There you go. 2 away. Next up for the Yankees, right fielder Juan Soto. Gained another sub, 48 to go. 48 to go to hit 20,600. You gained 12 in a day. I mean, there was a moment in a time period where, it would be a while just to get 1 new sub. So it's nice that we finally are getting to a point where, we're growing, we're in the algorithm, we're getting support. The word is getting around. And again, I'm always going to hustle and grind for you guys. 1-0 pitch to Soto, right down the middle from Miller. 1 ball and 1 strike. 289 average, 40 homers, and 103 ribbies. I wish we had that for the Mariners. Incredible player, Juan Soto. Soto crushes that one foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, but as far as like the WNBA team coming to Oregon, that's pretty cool. There's going to be a lot of high school girls and middle school and elementary, and then their parents. A lot of people are going to be excited. Plus, if there's just people that like the WNBA, but obviously the first 2 games that if I do go to will definitely be for Caitlin Clark and a Sabrina Ionescu if I go. Those would be the 2 games that I would want to go see, the Fever and the Liberty, to check out, obviously, Oregon Duck alum Sabrina, and then obviously Caitlin Clark, to see her launch threes from half court and probably beating the brakes off the Portland expansion team right out of the gates. Basketball, not really my thing, but again, going in person will be fun. Especially if it's like a brand new team and you're going to get some of the elite players that are going to be coming in. And I imagine they'll be playing their games at Moda where the Blazers play. So we also have Memorial Coliseum right next to it where the Blazers used to play back when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. But they typically do like Circus de Olay and like Barnum and Bailey Circus, and they do like concerts and other things at that facility. So it's not as big as the Moda, but I guess it kind of depends on scheduling with the Blazers and then whatever the WNBA team is going to be called. I wonder what they're going to be called. They haven't said what their name is going to be yet, I don't think. They'll probably have to vote on that. I mean, they got 2 years to come up with a good name. I don't know if they'll use like Blaze or something to do with flowers with the Rose City, but it has to be something obviously related to Oregon. Portland Blaze, I don't think that's necessarily the best name, but just off the top, it could work with the Blazers and the Blaze, but they probably will come up with something more creative than Blaze. Got him. Big punch out there by Bryce Miller on Juan Soto. Go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Mariners. I wish. 1-0 Yankees. But Bryce Miller's been doing a hell of a job. He's only given up 1. And these are the types of games that are frustrating, for Mariner fans, as well as the pitching staff. Imagine you're going against the Yankees and you've already got your ass kicked 11-2. Then you go into the next game. It's going to be tough. And the pitching, they're doing everything in their power, but nobody can fucking hit, and that's the story of the Mariners. That's, it's just rough. It's like, can't we just get a little bit of offense? And especially if we're holding the Yankees to 1. And of course, we don't even have 1 yet, or 2 or 3. We're still stuck at fucking 0. And it's been a crazy game. It's been a pitching duel. Nestor Cortez, right? He's only given up 2 hits. And Bryce Miller has only given up 2 hits. I don't know if we anticipated that, but Brian Wu and Bryce Miller were normally the 5th and 4th best pitchers. But now Wu is 1 and Miller is 2, based off record and how they've been playing as of late. But we need run support, Mariners. Come on now. Let's go. I mean, it's a lot better than getting our ass kicked 11-2, but this can be just as frustrating because it's like, are we actually going to be able to come back or fucking not? Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a K, right fielder Mitch Haniger. But also, too, the lineup isn't very good, too, when you got both Mitches in the lineup. I mean, sometimes they can get hot here and there, but not very consistent. But hopefully they can do something today, both Mitches. Batting second, third baseman Dylan Moore. And batting third, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. But I'll tell you, the big reason why that, we're not on the board yet is right here. Not having Victor Robles leading off. He's the guy that sets the tone for us. And when he sets the tone and gets a hit in one of the first 2 at-bats, we usually win or play well. He's not playing tonight, and I don't like having Julio leading off. You say, even we got a WNBA team. But obviously for UConn, you guys are big for, men and women hoops for college. Obviously, anyone that follows March Madness or college hoops, they've always had legends and GOATs from UConn. So may not have a professional team, but, you definitely got some ballas on the college side. 0-1 pitch from Nestor Cortez to Mitch Haniger. 1 ball and 1 strike. There we go. Nice job, Mitch Haniger. Strongly hit ball past Jazz Chisholm and company. Two defenders dive at it, and they both miss. Great job, Hanny. Sometimes you just got to be able to speak it into existence and let them know that we need you. And there we go. Nice job by Mitch Haniger. That one went past Gleyber Torres and Jazz Chisholm. Nice job, Haniger. Let's see if we can knock him in. Next up, third baseman Dylan Moore. Is this the inning where we get some offense on the board? Let's go, Demo. And we will be doing the Patriots and the Jets tomorrow. I'll be rooting for Britt's New England Patriots to get the upset. And again, on paper, it may be a boring matchup to some if you don't give a shit about the Patriots or the Jets, but it is a divisional matchup. And sometimes when matchups on paper don't look maybe the most exciting, when you actually watch the game, sometimes it ends up being one of the better games of the week. And we've had that happen every year, maybe about 3 or 4 times, based off Thursday night, Sunday night, or Monday night. And it could be tomorrow where a lot of people think, this is going to be a boring game. Jets are going to win by a bunch. Who cares? Breece Hall, Garrett, and double Aaron, they're just going to do their thing, right? But Jets are going to play good D, but New England has been kind of sneaky, better than anticipated. So again, obviously they don't have the same type of weaponry, and obviously the defense will be stout from time to time, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots, if they play well early on in the first half, they might be able to, win like 2017. I could definitely see, they would probably have to get a pick six or a fumble, a punt return, a kick return for a touchdown, or, they would have to have a steady flow of Hunter Henry. Something would have to give. A big turnover here, big turnover there, punching it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands or Breece Hall. You never know. But I have a feeling it might end up being halfway decent of a matchup. So, and hopefully you guys will be able to come in and join. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. 0-1 count to Julio. And we've seen Julio have a few more 3 for 5, 4 for 5 games. But a lot of times when Julio ends up going 3 for 5 or 4 for 5, he's the only one to do it. And everyone else is at nothing. Or maybe one hit for a couple more guys. We just need Julio to be able to have these monster games when everyone else is having a good game so we can fucking win. Not just him having this amazing 4 for 5 day and we get blown out 11-2. It's like I'm happy for him. He's getting back on track, but that kind of seems like the MO for Julio. Every other time he has a big game, sometimes it'll be with everyone else, and sometimes he'll be the only one. 1-2 pitch to Julio. Got him. Down goes Julio. 2 away. Nice job by Nasty Nestor Cortez. We'll give him some love here. We're not haters. Nice job, Nestor. 9-10 record, ERA at 3.90. He's got this weird hesitation that he does with his leg kick where he kind of pauses. It throws the batters off. He is a very sneaky pitcher, and you got to really maintain and watch him all the way through. Cal Raleigh, there we go. There we go, Cal. He wants to join the party. Hell yeah, runners on the corners now at first and third. That's my boy, Big Dumper. He said it's about goddamn time. There we go. Way to bring that electricity. Nice job, Cal. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. I don't even need us to take the lead. Just tie the game up so that way we're engaged and we're close. Obviously, if we could score 2, 3, or 4 this inning, that would be ideal, but I don't need to be greedy. I just want this game to be tied up, and then we'll go from there. You hear me, sports gods? Tied up. Nothing too crazy. We've already left runners stranded multiple times. We're in the 5th inning. Let's go. Come on, Randy. 1-0 pitch. Pitch is outside. 2-0 count. I'll definitely be rooting for you, Britt. You know that. 2-0 pitch. Pitch on the corner for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy. Two 1 pitch popped up, and we leave 2 stranded again. Golly, this fucking team, man, rough. Still 1-0 Yankees. I can't wait for the day when the Mariners end up being a good team, like hitting wise. Like, we got the pitching part down. The bullpen still stinks, but again, you know, the starting pitching is there. We just need to find the right combination of hitters and get rid of the bad ones and get some farm guys to get called up, and then to bring in the right type of guys to make this team work. Frustrating. But that's Mariner baseball for you. Next up for the Yankees, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. DHing in the 3-hole, Aaron Judge. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Catcher with the stash from the past, Austin Wells. And batting third in the 5-hole, third baseman, formerly of the Marlins. A good pickup for the Yankees since it looks like Jazz has started to mature on this roster. Jazz Chisholm. And sometimes that's what you need, is just a change of scenery. And sometimes you'll be able to mature as a man and a player and realize, you know, all those crazy, things that he would do on the Marlins would not be accepted on New York. And there's a higher standard. You know, when you're on the Marlins, you probably don't give a shit about anything. But when you're on the Yankees, there's a standard that you have to hold up. Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, these legends and GOATs, when you wear the NY and you wear the stripes, you got to make sure you're living up to it. And I'm glad that Jazz is finally starting to find a spot where he can mature and, be the best player that he can be. I didn't want him on the Mariners because I just thought that it wouldn't work for our team. But for the Yankees, I think it is a great fit. Top of the 6th, 1-0 Yankees. First pitch is outside to Judge. One 0 count. 0 for 1 with an intentional walk in the third. Pitch is low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Bryce has been wheeling and dealing. But again, can we get any run support? That's the problem. Like, all of these amazing pitching performances the Mariners have had this year have gone unnoticed because the Mariners hitters can't get a fucking hit and they can't get anybody to come home. They can't hit homers. They can't get anybody to come home, and that's rough, as far as baseball is concerned. It's like you just want to be able to compete, and we're just not the team that the Mariner fans want them to be. Not yet. They will be one day, but they're not there yet. But we will still represent and support forever. Judge calls time. Two count to Aaron Judge. Crushes that one. Foul. That's a great souvenir right there. People will be fist fighting for an Aaron Judge foul ball, let me tell you. It's going to be the most coveted baseball that you can get besides Shohei Ohtani. Come on, Bryce. 2-2 pitch to Aaron Judge. Smoke him. Got him. Fouled that one off. Judge is battling. Come on, Bryce. Top of the sixth, 1-0 Yankees. Nobody on, nobody out. 2-2 pitch to Judge. Pitches outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Great eye by Aaron. Judge thought it was going to be a walk, but he got him right on the corner. Nice job, Bryce. Bryce is pitching a gem, but just can't get any help offensively. I mean, that's the story for Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, and Luis Castillo. It's like, come on, man. Do something. 7th K for Bryce. Pretty impressive when you're going against the Yankees. Next up for the Yankees, Austin Wells. Oh for 1 with a walk in the 3rd. Lauren in the building. What's good, brother? Big swing and a miss. Behind in the count 0-2. Get some run support for Miller, man. 0-2 pitch. Fouled it off himself. Still remains no balls and 2 strikes. Doing good. How are you doing, Lauren? See where we're at on the likes right now. Hopefully we can get as close to 20. Now we need 3 more likes to get to 20. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now we need 2 more. We're at 18. 2 more to go to hit 20. Wells chops it. Right to Justin Turner. Flips it to Bryce Miller. 2 away. I mean, obviously we need some run support here, but I'm doing good. But a little, I mean, it's better than getting our ass kicked 11-2 and knowing the game was already over by like the 4th inning. So at least like we're in it. But even though we're only down by a run, it kind of feels like we're down by 4 because we can't, knock anybody home. It's like the game is in reach. But even when the games are 1-0 and the pitching duel is in full effect, you would hope that you could at least get an RBI or a home run here. But we might have to wait for starting pitching to go out, and then the teams will start to rake a little bit better. We'll see. Next up is Jazz Chisholm, batting 5th in the order. Maybe we need the Mariner Moose to come out. Maybe that's why we haven't scored yet. Is that the reason? Mariner Moose hasn't made an appearance, and so that's why. There he is. Now we're going to get on the board. Pitch right down the middle to Jazz. 1 ball and 1 strike. We need double Moose. Moose on the left, Moose in the corner. Now we're going to win. Okay, there we go. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, and it's not like, he's had that many bad games. I mean, I think right now at this point of the season, Wu is 1, Bryce is 2. They're the only 2 pitchers that have an above 500 record, but Kirby, Gilbert, and Castillo get no fucking run support. But apparently, Wu and Miller, every once in a while, they don't get run support either, but at least they got, a better win-loss record, and I think have been pitching a little bit better as of late. But hopefully one day the bats will come alive. Chop foul. Oh, nice. From MLB The Show. Heck yeah. It's not like you're going to get a Julio that often in those packs. 2-2 pitch. And Jazz fouls it off himself, off his leg as he limps. Tries to gain his composure. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jazz. Chisholm. I know, 1 run through 6. I mean, what else do you want our pitching staff to do? Our bullpen stinks, besides just a couple guys like Taylor and Munoz for the most part. But our starters are amazing. It's just like, how many games are we going to have, like, these lackluster performances, and then like we end up getting hits, but we never can drive them home. It's like half of the game, in half of the innings, you're getting one or two guys on, but the key stat is, what about that third guy to be able to knock them in? It just kind of dies. It's like, we haven't been bunting. We don't have Victor Robles. We haven't been walked. We haven't been hit by a pitch. We got to be able to find ways to manufacture extra ways to get on. And we have to be aggressive on stealing bags. But again, I feel that if you're this much of a poor hitting team, why aren't we bunting more? Because again, obviously, if you're striking out and you're grounding out, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get on by a bunt, but you have a better chance if you drop it down perfectly to get to first, wild throw, maybe even get to second off a bunt. So I just don't understand why, with a team especially like the Mariners, one of the worst hitting teams in baseball, why aren't we more strategic game in and game out? Again, it takes a certain type of mind to understand, you can't just do it the same way as everybody else. We're not like them. We're not built the same way. Judah in the building. What's good? We're at 11, 89 to go. 2-2 pitch. Pitch is inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three-two pitch from Miller to Chisholm. Got him. Strikeout number 8, baby. Can we get some run support for our guy, Bryce Miller? He's been playing the best besides Brian Wu out of the pitching staff. Who would have thought that? That our 4 and 5 pitchers would be better than our 1, 2, and 3. But that's where we're at. But again, can we please get a little bit of support? And it's not like we're asking for 10 runs. Hell, at this point, we're not even asking for the 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits that I thought we might need to win this game. We might just need 3. And if we get to 3, we might be able to. Hell, we might be able to win with 2. In this game, depending on what the Yankees do as the game goes on. But again, so many games have been like this year, and it definitely needs a change. 20th. Thank you so much. Appreciate that very much. And then now we can shoot for 25, and then hopefully get to 30 before the stream ends. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners. And let's see who can bring a little bit of electricity to our lineup, if any. Next up for the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th, first baseman Justin Turner. Batting second in the 5-hole, second baseman Jorge Polanco. And batting third, DHing for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Let's go Mariners. And like I mentioned multiple times on the stream, make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. Addiction, depression, anxiety are all horrible things that we've gone through in our lives, either now or in the past. But if you make those minor adjustments to your daily routine, hold yourself accountable, know your triggers, and push a little bit, you can get out of the funk a lot quicker. If you're not exercising, exercise. If you're not eating healthy, eat healthier. Just by doing those 2 basic things, you'd be very shocked on how your mind and brain will change as you go through the weeks and months by making those adjustments. Listen to music, spend time with friends, family, and pets. Get rid of those toxic assholes out of your life. You do these basic things, you can get back on track, and you can win the day. Big facts. I mean, ever since that, I ended up moving away, and I have Paisley, and I've changed my diet, and, I exercise, and I get to spend all my time with Paisley Pup. It's probably been one of the best years of my life, and also being able to spend it with you guys. But again, prior to this year, there was a lot of bad moments for me. A lot of ups, but a lot of downs. But again, a lot of times you don't realize, if you end up having a bad boyfriend or girlfriend or living partner or husband or wife, and it's just not a good fit, it can ruin your life, and sometimes it's hard to be able to move on, and people don't want to be lonely. But trust me, man, life is too short to be spending it with people that you don't even really enjoy being around. If you're just like roommates and you're living together, maybe you were in love at one point, but if you're not in love anymore, and it's just, I know the economy is very expensive, but again, sometimes you got to be able to, understand that just because you might be able to live with someone more comfortably with the rent being cheaper doesn't mean that's going to bring you happiness in your life. And I'm a firm believer of that because I fucking live that. 3-2 pitch from Cortez to JT, and JT to first. Let's go. Justin Turner with a walk. Next up, second baseman Jorge Polanco. But it definitely will teach you lessons in life. Especially if you have a bad relationship, then it teaches you that's what you don't want in the future. So sometimes you got to go through the good and the bad and the ugly before you actually get to the person that you're meant to be with. Polo pops up, and that one is foul. 0-1 count. 0 for 2 with a foul out and a fielder's choice for Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're at 21. 4 more to go to get to 25. 9 more to 30. Let's go. 1-1 pitch. Polo crushes that one towards third base, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we're going to be doing the Patriots and Jets on Thursday Night Football tomorrow. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to it, if I'm really being honest. Especially the way the Patriots have played in the first 2 weeks. I don't think it's just going to be a Jet, blowout. I actually think New England has a chance to win tomorrow. And I think that they have a lot to prove. So hopefully they bring their A game. The Jets bring their A game, and we'll see who the best team is. Obviously, the Jets roster is better than the Patriots, but maybe the Patriots will be coached up better. So we'll see on the strategy in the game. And if the Patriots can get a couple turnovers on the Jets, they're going to have a chance to win. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Yankees, runner at first. 2-2 pitch from Cortez to Polo. And it's been a pitcher's duel. Mariners have 4 hits on nasty Nestor Cortez, and the Yankees only have 2 on Bryce Miller. So no worries. Just stop by if you have a chance after you're done there, if you still have time. I mean, I'll be live for 3-4 hours. Chopper. Volpe. Double play. Brutal. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. DHing for Seattle, Mitch Garver. You would think that they could find someone other than Garver to DH, but I guess that's where we're at right now in the season. That one chop foul. 0-1 count to Mitch Garver. Now, we did get one Mitch to get a hit, and obviously Henniger has not been a regular individual in the lineup, so that was good. But can we get the other Mitch? Now, you were terrible at the beginning of the year, but in the last month, there's been a few times where he's hit a home run or like a 3-run blast. So again, Garver still is not a good player, but again, 172 average is better than 150, but still terrible. He's at 13 homers now, 49 ribbies, and the last couple have been pretty big ones. Like when we ended up beating the Rangers 7-0, it started off with a 3-run homer by Garver. Don't think that really we got that in store tonight from him, but you never know. But right now, not against Nestor Cortez. It would have to be against the bullpen. And if it does happen, it probably won't be Garver that hits the homer. It'll be someone else. When you don't get too many opportunities to play, a lot of pressure to just come in there and, do the damage. Pitch is outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch from Cortez to Garv popped up, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for the Yankees. All right, let's go to the top of the 7th. We're running out of time, and it's not like we're down, 5-0 and the game is over and we're just going through the motions. Like, we actually have a chance to win this game. It's not like it was yesterday when we were, getting blown out early, right? Where we lost 11-2, but it felt like the game was already over by the 4th inning. Today, it's in reach, but we're going to have to wait for the starting pitching to go out for both teams, and then we'll see where we're at. Maybe we'll end up having a 3-2 final. Or maybe 2-1, but hopefully the Mariners will end up having the dub. All right, Troy Taylor is coming in, and that obviously is a good sign for Mariner fans. We like him. He's my favorite bullpen pitcher besides Andres Munoz. He's a stud. Hell, he's good enough to pitch 2 innings, but I know they won't. But they should. They should consider that sometimes. Having Munoz pitch 2 innings, or Taylor, pitching 2 innings, or even like Matt Brash pitching 2 innings. But obviously he's healthy, so we're not going to have him this year. But it's like the guy's arm isn't going to fall off after 1 goddamn inning. There's a reason why you got all these bullpen guys, but I feel like strategy needs to change. It's like it'd be better off having 3 or 4 really good bullpen guys that could pitch 1 or 2 innings instead of having a different guy coming in every fucking inning and having one of those guys fuck the game up, bringing in Sauce or both, or, Bizzardo, or any of these other guys that are mid to bad to terrible. So top of the 7th, 1-0 Yankees. Let's see who's up next. Going against Troy Taylor, a rookie that can pitch 95 to 100. That's got all the swag. And hopefully he'll be able to lead up after Bryce and what he did today. Nice job, Bryce Miller. You did everything in your power to make it competitive. The hitters let you down up to this point. 8 strikeouts for Bryce on the Yankees. I mean, come on. There's a lot of pitchers that wouldn't be able to do that in their fucking lifetime. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, which is a little high for him. 8 Ks. Next up for the Yankees, 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball, Jason Dominguez. Batting second, first baseman, Anthony Rizzo. And batting third, shortstop, Anthony Volpe. Let's go Mariners. We're at 11, 89 to go. Troy with that heater, 97 miles an hour in the strike zone. Let's go. 1.98 ERA, 13.2 innings pitched, 15 Ks, 3 walks. He made his MLB debut August 11th. The motherfucker is loaded. Locked and loaded. Stud. This is a guy that should be on the team for many, many years to come. And sometimes you just got to wait for that right player to come through. But now we got Brash, Taylor, and Munoz, and we need to add to that. 0-2 pitch to Dominguez. Pitch is high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two pitch. What a sweeper. Mariner Moose loves it. That pitch was fucking nasty. 1 away. Nice job. Keep it going, Troy. Next up for the Yankees, Anthony Rizzo, the former Cub. Pitch on the corner. Should have been a strike, but called ball. 1-0 count. Right on the corner. Kind of a 50-50 call, depending on the ump. 1-0 pitch to Rizzo, who's 1 for 2 today. Chop foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. .217 average, 8 homers and 32 ribbies for Rizzo. But by far, this is the pitcher that's got the most swag and aura And sometimes he's got more aura and swag than even Andres Munoz, and that's our closer, who is an all-star this year. So that shows you, like, how good Troy Taylor is. Like, maybe one day he'll be an all-star. Like, he's that good. He's got the stuff. Brash is a great 6th, 7th inning pitcher. Taylor can do 7th and 8th, and then we got Munoz in the 9th. And hopefully he doesn't have any major injuries, because I love Troy Taylor. The one, like, bright spot in our bullpen besides Munoz this year. He's awesome. I haven't seen a player like this that has gotten people out of their seats and excited in a long time. I mean, besides when we had Sewald and Munoz and Edwin Diaz before we sent him off to the Mets. 2-2 pitch. Nasty again. My God, Troy. Troy's fucking arsenal is money. I wish that this guy was a guy that could pitch like as a starter. That's how good he is. He's got the stuff. But again, we need bullpen. So again, we got plenty of starters right now, even though Castillo probably needs to be replaced at some point. I don't know if he's worthy of being our 5th best pitcher, even though they had him slated as the opening day starter for years, even though we know that he's not, as good as he used to be. He's been declining tremendously. But again, we have problems in the bullpen, and at least we've shored up some of that problem with Troy Taylor. Next up is Anthony Volpe. Pitch in the zone for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike to Anthony Volpe. $98 miles an hour right down the middle. Pretty much, you want to challenge me, I'm going to give you my heater. You try to hit it. And most, hitters can't. Great stuff there by Troy Taylor. Remember that name, baby. He's awesome. Keep this guy on the team for like 15 years. Check swing, foul. I mean, hell, he's better than Sewald. I mean, the guy's a rookie, and he's doing this. Like I said, Sewald was good for us, but this guy is so young. And I don't even know if he understands on how good he is at this point. I mean, I imagine his friends and family and certain people tell him, like, man, you got the stuff. But there's nobody that has the control and the velocity and speed as Taylor. Munoz can throw those heaters, but a lot of times he's kind of out of control, where he's wide left, wide right, and you can already tell immediately within the first 2 or 3 pitches if Munoz is going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to get out of the inning, or if he's going to fuck up the save. But with Troy, it seems like more times than not, he's on point around that strike zone. He's not going to be, 5 feet off the plate like Munoz does sometimes. So I feel as a rookie, he's way beyond his years. Troy Taylor pitches as if he was been in the league for 5 to 8 years as a vet, and he's a fucking rookie. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. He's nice. Top of the 7th, 1-0 Yankees, 3-2 pitch. Ooh, that one chop foul. MSU in the building. What's good? Man, you guys are really starting to make a nice little run. Obviously it was the Red Sox, Mariners, Tigers, and probably a lot of people thought the Tigers are just way too young and they can't catch up, but you guys have caught fire at the right time. Congrats. 3-2 pitch. Striking out the side. I mean, how many pitchers could do that in our bullpen? Not many. Brash, Taylor, Munoz. That's it. I don't think anyone else could really do that. And nice job. That's some good stuff right there. Nice job, Troy. It's wild that he's a rookie. We have a bright future if he can stay healthy with Brash and Munoz, but we still need one more dominant pitcher to add to those 3. Brash in the 6th, someone else in the 7th, Taylor in the 8th, Munoz in the 9th. We need one more dominant pitcher. Maybe it'll be Durangelo, the rookie from Mississippi State that can pitch left and right-handed. Maybe he will be the missing link in the Mariner bullpen. That would be sweet. Now let's see if we can actually get some goddamn hits and we can cash in and we can actually get a fucking run. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Yankees. I mean, they're almost like handing the game to us. All we got to do is find a way to get a unsuspected home run, or get back-to-back-to-back hits, which is easier said than done when you're the fucking Seattle Mariners. Next up, 1 for 2, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Batting second, right fielder Mitch Haniger. And batting third baseman Dylan Moore. But also there's a reason why we're at 0, because we don't have our best hitters playing. Where is Luke Raley? Where is Victor Robles? Injured. Where is Josh Rojas? Like, why the hell are the Mitches playing? Like, again, this lineup is not good. Hell, I would rather see Ryan Bliss and Tyler Locklear more than half of the players that we have playing today. I think those guys would play better D, and they would be able to hit better. But I'm not the manager, so... but again, we've already seen plenty of these guys, and they should have known better not to have Julio in the leadoff spot. He doesn't play well there, But again, you're doing it based off a left-handed pitcher, so you don't want to go with left-handed batters. But that's the stupidest shit that you could do. Luke Raley, you're telling me Luke Raley, even if he has to go against a left-handed pitcher, he doesn't have a chance to hit compared to Garver and Haniger and Demo and JP? Give me a break. You could probably blindfold Luke Raley, and he could be having a left-handed pitcher throw to him, and he probably would have a better chance getting a hit than half the guys in the lineup right now. So a part of it is managing, and understanding that just because it's a right-handed pitcher doesn't mean you can't have right-handed batters, or a left-handed pitcher, you have to go right-handed batters. You can't have left. That's the dumbest thing in baseball. If the player is good, he's going to be able to hit a person that's left or right-handed pitcher. Doesn't fucking matter. If you're good, you're going to be able to find a way. Wild pitch. And hopefully JP can get on board here. And we haven't been able to bunt. We haven't had a whole lot of walks or hit by pitches. The strategy in this matchup has not been very good by Dan Wilson and company. Just being real. All right, Megan, have a great rest of your evening or day, considering you're in Australia. 2 wild pitches. Oh, I didn't know you were a fucking expert. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Yankees. Stats and analytics matter, but again, you're telling me that a left-handed pitcher and a left-handed batter, or even if you're switch, it's impossible to get a hit, especially if a guy is batting 300 from one side and 100 from the other. So you're just going to go with the side that's 100? Give me a break, dude. This is 2024, not 1990. 3-0 pitch, and that's a walk. And that's the problem. Everyone is stuck in the past. Just like with the NFL, it used to be a running league, and then now it's a passing league. You can't do the same thing that you did 5 to 10 years ago strategy-wise and think you're going to get the same results. Evolution changes things in the game based off rule changes and shifting, the pitch calm. Things are not the same as they were 10, 20 years ago. Pitches outside, 1-0 count to Mitch Haniger. And we don't want people to make people more dumb here. Okay, we want to be able to have people be educated and understand. Get a better name. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Yankees. Runner at first. Nobody on, nobody out. Besides, oh boy. 1-1 pitch. JP at first. Let's go. Come on, Hanny. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Haniger. Come on, Mitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Haniger. 1 away. But at least we're getting Rojas in now, finally. And hopefully we'll get a few guys start to pinch hit here, and we'll get Luke Raley in the game, because that might be the individual that wins it for us. Next up, third baseman Josh Rojas pinch hitting. Yeah, I know. We need the Tigers. I mean, they're taking our spot essentially. You know, they're it's not good for us. Good for him. You know, obviously being a fan of the Tigers and it's a small market team. You know, I'm not going to hate on that. Obviously, he's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations with his team as well. It hasn't been easy, you know, being a Tiger fan. We got to think with Detroit sports, there's not a lot to really root for there. You know, Pistons aren't very good. Red Wings are past their prime. You know, obviously the Lions are good, and depending on if you're Michigan State, then, you know, you're going to have that. But it's not like every single team is a championship caliber team there in Michigan or in Detroit. So Rojas, slow dribbler, throw to first, 2 away. Next up, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Aaron Boone going to the bullpen here. This would be a great opportunity and time, you know, to have this happen. Obviously, Julio has been hot as of late, but honestly, even if he could just get an RBI and we could end up making the game 1-1, that would be fine. You know, it's like we don't really expect a 2-run blast to have a 2-1 lead. I mean, that would be great, you know, but if we have to grind this game out, we just got to be able to tie first and see where it goes. But of course, if Julio hits a 2-run blast, that'll give us the momentum. We could win the game, you know, but I just don't know if he's got that in him at this at-bat right here, or if they'll intentionally walk him, you know, like they did with Aaron Judge. But obviously Aaron Judge is very good in the box. Julio was piss poor at the beginning of the year, and even, you know, within the last month and a half, still kind of a work in progress. But after Scott Service got let go and, you know, Edgar Martinez and company have been working with him, we started to see a little bit of an improvement, because there was no way in hell, you know, Julio was going to be going 3 for 5 or 4 for 5 with Scott Service managing. But as of late, we've seen Julio put a little bit more work in the cage. I don't know if he's watching a lot of film on the iPad or, you know, and doing that in his spare time. I highly doubt it. But, you know, hopefully he's watching at least a little bit and understanding how pitches are, you know, pitchers are pitching to him, trying to jam him and trying to bait him, you know, obviously with bad pitches, low and outside or high and tight inside, you know, and then if they can get him in an 0-2 count, it's over. You know, he's not a good 0-2 hitter. You know, it's not like Tony Gwynn, where, you know, you're 0-2 and it's not a problem. It's like almost like it's the opposite, like 2-0, you know. But most hitters, you know, when they feel that pressure of, you know, swinging badly at the first one, taking a strike on the second pitch, and then all of a sudden it's 0-2, you know, it's really hard. You have to be a very disciplined player to be able to block that out and just act like the count is nothing, 0-0, instead of being like, oh God, you know, I'm 0-2 count here. Bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Yankees. Clay Holmes on the mound. And Julio in the box. First pitch is low at the knees, but called strike. Bullshit. 0-1 count. Terrible call by this fucking ump. Come on, Julio. And we've seen Julio go 3 for 5, 4 for 5 a few times as of late, even yesterday. But we need to be able to see if he can get on the board here. He's 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Let's go 1 for 4. An RBI single would be just beautiful. Pitch is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. I mean, hell, even at this point, we'll take a walk or a hit by a pitch as long as it doesn't hurt him. We just need to get guys on base. Knock guys over. Move guys over. 266 average. 16 homers, 54 ribbies for Julio. Wow, that was a strike, but called ball. That was right in the zone. 3-1 count, should be 2-2. We got lucky on that one. Take the walk. There we go. Julio doesn't swing at that garbage. Come on, baby. Bottom of the seventh, 1-0 Yankees. And that should have been strike three on Julio. Multiple pitches, but for whatever reason, we get lucky, and that's called a walk. Bad call by that ump. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And who's the most clutch hitter out of anybody on the Seattle Mariners in the seventh inning and beyond? You're looking at him. So I'm not saying that he's going to hit a 3-run blast at this at-bat, but he definitely has a chance to be able to get us tied or to give us the lead here, either at this at-bat or maybe in the ninth if he gets up again. Let's go, Cal. This is exactly who you would want up in this situation. And he's not going to come through every time, but, more times than not, he will. I would say out of like 10 times, Cal could probably get a hit here, a 6 out of 10. So we just got to hope that this is one of the 6. And if we're really lucky, he'll hit a 3-run blast. And if he does, we're going to win the game. A lot of pressure, though, to do that. And that would give him home run number 31 and then RBI number 95. Getting closer and closer. And I'm hoping that he hits 35 homers and 100 ribbies by the time the season ends. And I think it is possible. Get that batting average from 212 closer to 220 to 230. Pitch is low at the knees for a strike. 0-1 count. Come on, Cal. Oh, he crushed it, but just went foul. Damn. It's right there in the middle of the plate, and he crushed it. Oh, 2 count. 1 for 3 and a single in the 5th. Check swing. He did not go. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Mariners. .212 average, 30 homers, 93 ribbies. 1-2 pitch from Holmes to Cal. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There we go. Take the walk if needed. Again, being a hero is great, but sometimes also being a hero is knowing when to swing and when not to. So hopefully the right decision can be made here. Come on, Cal. He's got good eyes at the plate. Runners in scoring position, 258 average, 10 homers, and 63 ribbies. I don't really feel necessarily a home run here, but maybe at his next at-bat. But let's see what happens here. A lot of pressure. 2-2 pitch. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, it's not being negative. It's the truth. Everyone as a Mariner fan knows that. Yeah, you're not telling us anything that we don't already fucking know, bro. When you end up being the worst hitting team in baseball and you strike out the most, even though we're not the number 1 strikeout team anymore, popped up. And that is out number 3. Just our luck. Yeah, but that's the problem, though. The Mariner owners don't want to spend money, and then they end up getting the wrong players and spending 10, 11 million on idiots like Garver and Polo when you could have just brought guys up from the farm system and spent money on closers. That's what they should have done. But again, when you're in an organization that's not run well, it shows. If you don't have a good owner, you don't have a good GM, it typically leads to not having the right manager, and you don't have the right players. So at least we're lucky enough to have a good pitching staff, a couple guys in the bullpen. But if we're being honest, you can pretty much cut, 70% of the team. They're not good. Again, they can go to another team and see what they can do. There's certain pieces that are worth keeping, but there's a lot of pieces that are not good. And also, you got to look at the lineups. Having Victor Robles hurt obviously hurt our chances because he's our best hitter. But Julio in the leadoff spot, not right. Cal, Randy is very hit or miss. Turner's 39, Polo's garbage, Garver's garbage, JP Crawford's not good this year, Haniger's normally not good, Demo's not, you got a lot of these guys that are like bench guys that we're putting into the starting lineup that shouldn't really be playing every day, and again, I've been watching this team since the fucking 80s, and I can tell you, a lot of this roster needs to be blown up, for us to be able to have the right success, but again, you also have to have the right manager and the right owner and GM. And unfortunately, we have one of the worst owners in sports in Stanton. And then obviously we have one of the worst GMs in Dipoto. So again, until we can get rid of those two motherfuckers, then we're going to be going through this over and over and over until we end up breaking the cycle, And at some point, Dipoto will get fired, hopefully in the next couple of years. And obviously Stanton isn't going anywhere unless he sells the team. Or if he passes away, but I don't know what's going to happen first. We'll have to wait and see. But you're not telling us anything that we don't already know. We already know that the team sucks at hitting, But again, you have to have the right ownership that wants to spend the money, but they would rather profit and make more money for themselves than rather investing in the team to try to win a championship. That's the difference. Some teams are all in, with their payroll, where with their profits, they're going to spend a lot of that profit. But with the Mariners, we're not even in the top 5 or top 10. We're in the bottom 5, bottom 10 in spending. So if you're not going to spend, you can't expect to win. And then if you do spend, you got to make sure you're getting the right players, not fucking Jorge Polanco and Mitch Garver. Christ. But that's, but at least our farm system is good, right? Our starting pitching is good. We got Brash, Taylor, and Munoz. That's good. Julio, Cal, Luke Raley, a few guys that are cornerstone pieces. But again, there's a lot of the roster that doesn't deserve to be on this team. They're not good, not consistent. Now we got Andres Munoz in the game against Alex Verdugo. Chop foul. So, it's not like the whole team is, garbage. We got some good pieces, but the team effort and, unfortunately, we don't have the right team and the right management to put it together. But hopefully one day we will. But one thing that is good is this right here, Andres Munoz in the 8th. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, put Munoz in already in the 8th. I don't know what that means if he's going to pitch the 8th and the 9th, because normally he's a 9th inning pitcher, or he'll try to get like a 5-out save, and they come in with 1 out in the 8th. But I don't know. Dan Wilson, every once in a while, he'll have some good strategy, but there's also been a handful of games where he's made moves just like Scott Service, where I feel like Scott Service is still managing this team. You can't make friends with these players. You have to be able to put in the best players, especially if we're trying to make the playoffs, even though we have like a 1% chance. At least act like you're trying to win and you're still trying to get in, instead of just trying to profit off the fans. Chopper from Verdugo, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But also, it's a hard-hitting ballpark in Seattle. I don't know what it is about T-Mobile, but it's always hard to hit in Seattle. It's not an easy place to hit. Like some ballparks are hitter-friendly. It's not very hitter-friendly here. It's one of the hardest places to hit, and I think that's why when a lot of players that are free agents that come here from other teams, when they have success, they shit the bed, and they're not good, like Garver and Polo. Popped up from Verdugo, the former Red Sox. To Randy Arozarena, 1 away. Yeah, well, knowing what we're going through right now, I doubt that he'll be in the 9th. He'll probably only pitch the 8th, and they're going to throw someone else in the 9th. I don't think, because, we've never had him pitch, 3 innings in the 8th and 3 innings in the 9th. We got 2 5-out saves this year out of Munoz, but I don't think he'll be pitching the 9th. They have someone else in mind. Who they have in mind, I have no idea. You know, hell, knowing Dan Wilson, probably it'll be fucking sauce, and we'll just end up losing this game 7-0 because he'll end up giving up 6 runs. Who knows what will happen? But 1-0 pitch. Gleyber Torres, 1 ball and 1 strike. But definitely with this Mariner coaching change, things are a little bit more unpredictable. 1-1 pitch. Pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And, you know, from watching Taylor and Munoz, Taylor looks like the better pitcher. You know, he pitches more high-end velocity with location. Munoz throws the heaters, but it's all over the place. You know, low, high, left, right. You know, it's like you don't really know what you're going to get out of Munoz. He's got that all-star ability when he's on, but for every one game that he's on, there's like 2 or 3 where he's completely fucking off. You know, give me a guy that's a little bit more consistent like Troy Taylor. Maybe we need to switch those guys and have Taylor be the closer and Munoz be the setup guy in the 8th. Just a thought. It's like with Sewald and Munoz. They're kind of interchangeable, but I think I trust Troy more than I trust Munoz. Rojas is there. 2 away. But it's all about consistency, right? Next up, right fielder Juan Soto. Six more likes to get to 30. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 1 more from 25. So if someone is in the room that hopped in, do your boy a solid, smash that like button. 1 more to 25, 6 more to 30. Help your boy out. Appreciate you. We're at 25 now. 5 more to go to hit the goal for the stream. Top of the 8th, 1-0 Yankees. I mean, we're right in this matchup. Nobody on with 2 outs. 1-1 count from Munoz to Soto. Pitches out the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. One pitch. Pitch is low and outside. 3-1 count. I don't like the way that this is going right here. Feels like momentum is just slipping right out of our hands right now. Come on, Munoz. Troy Taylor, better pitcher than you. It's kind of looking like it. Three-one pitch. There we go. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three-two pitch, and of course it's high and outside for a walk. 5th walk by Mariner pitcher, and next up, Aaron Judge. Golly. Top of the 8th, 1-0, 0 for 2, intentionally walked in the 3rd. Aaron Judge. And with 1 swing, the game is over. Pitch right down the middle, 100 miles an hour for a strike, 321 average, 53 homers, 136 ribbies. Incredible. Him and Shohei Ohtani are the 2 best players on planet fucking Earth. But hopefully, Munoz can get him out here. Come on, Andre, show me that all-star ability. Chop that one foul. Got Aaron in an 0-2 count, so that's a good sign. Not saying that he can't hit a homer from 0-2. He clearly can. But it's definitely in our advantage now. We might be able to get out of this inning. Come on, Munoz. I believe. 0-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch from Munoz to Judge. There you go. Andres Munoz with the big punch out. There we go. Nice job. I mean, it's very difficult to get Aaron Judge out or Shohei Ohtani. I mean, those guys are just wizards in the box. Nice job by not fucking up the game late and giving us a chance to possibly tie or win. Nice job, Andres Munoz. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 8th. We're running out of time. We only have 2 innings left. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and K. Left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a base on ball, first baseman, Justin Turner. And batting third, 0 for 3, second baseman, Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Mariners. All right, next up, Randy Arozarena takes a strike, 0-1 count, batting third in the order. And it shows you how valuable Victor Robles is to this team. When he's not in the lineup, we're just trash. Like, we need to have that Ichiro or that tone setter at the top of the lineup. And when we don't have Victor Robles playing, we're like a shell of ourselves. I mean, we can't get multiple hits in a row. And when we do, we can't get anybody home. I really do believe broken bat by Randy Arozarena. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But I feel that, we got a lot of players that are, good role players for this team. And obviously Julio and Cal and obviously Luke Raley seem like staples of this team. But you could argue that Victor Robles might be the most important player in the lineup to kind of set the tone. We know Julio will have his big games. Cal will have his heroics late. Luke Raley has been good as of late in games and early in games as well. But, we got to have a tone setter. And who's the most consistent hitter game in and game out? It's Victor Robles, even over Julio, Cal, and Luke Raley. That says a lot about our team. Big swing and a miss. Randy Arozarena, 1 away. And everyone thought, at the trade deadline, Randy was the biggest name. But lo and behold, we didn't realize the whole time that the guy that we already had on the team for a bag of Doritos from the Nationals might be one of the best players on the team, not only for his vibe and his good energy, but for his skill set offensively and defensively. Facts. Next up, first baseman, Justin Turner. No Robles in the lineup. Not a lot of runs, but we got to get something here. Back. Gone! Let's go! Justin Turner! Woo! Let's go! That's what you do. You're 39 years old, and you tie the game up late. You ask, and you shall receive. 1-1 Yankees and fucking Mariners. Let's go! Let's go! Hell yeah! Unbelievable! There we go. Sometimes you have to have an unexpected hero. Hell yeah. Here we go. Turner, baby. Just when I was messaging my best friend, Bug, can we get a run sometime soon? 10 seconds later, Turner home run. Thank you, sports gods. That's exactly what I wanted. There we go. Better late than never. I mean, it's chaos ball for the Mariners, right? It's like, we're going to lose. We can't hit. We can't pitch. This, that. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the game, and not all the time, but sometimes at the end of the game, you end up having late inning heroics, like the most unexpected hero, and it's Big Red, the oldest everyday player in Major League Baseball at 39, JT, Big Red, Red Turn, Justin Turner. Fuck yeah. Way to be able to get the crowd back into the game. Hell yeah. Next up is Jorge Polanco. I'm going to go check up on Paisley here real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, baby. Let's go. Just fair, too. It's never over till it's over. 1-1 game. We have the momentum now. Now you got Luke Weaver into the game. A righty going against Jorge Polanco. Could be a great time to be able to bring in Luke Raley next or Mitch Garver. That's what I would be doing if we're trying to win. Pitch on the corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Polo. 0 for 3, grounded out into a double play in the 6th. One pitch. Pitch is low at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike, even though that probably should have been called a strike. This ump, I mean, we say it every game. The ump is terrible. No matter, Angel Hernandez is retired, but his presence is still being felt in every ballpark by all these other umps that aren't very good. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, the only Mariner pitcher that, I think any Mariner fan would be willing to get rid of is Castillo. There's no way we're going to get rid of any of the others, because, again, we just need to be able to get the hitting. And if you end up breaking up the pitching staff, then, we're not going to be able to hit, and then we're not going to be able to pitch. We got to be able to be at least good at something, and then, try to figure out the farm system and bring those guys up and stop spending money on guys like Garver and Polo and bringing up farm guys and seeing what they can do. I honestly feel farm guys could be better than the guys that we have that we pay. Big swing and a miss, and that is strike 3 to Polo. Polo and Garver were two of the biggest, failures as far as like bringing new guys in that I've seen in a long time. Not a good fit for this team. Next up is Mitch Garver. Make the substitution, Dan Wilson. Put in Luke Raley. Golly. I mean, of course, we would always be down to, have, a couple more hitters in the lineup, but, it's not going to, with the pitching staff that we have, Castillo, that's it. Everyone else is untouchable. You got to make sure you keep Logan and George and Wu and Miller on this roster. But we'll give you Luis Castillo for free if you want him. He's garbage. He's not good anymore. But all the others are nice. He's just declining year in and year out, Castillo. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But honestly, I don't even know how many teams would even want Castillo at this point in his career. He's not really reliable anymore. He's a name, but name recognition only gets you so far in this league. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Used to be good, but not anymore. 1-2 pitch to Garver from Weaver. Popped up, and that is foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, technically, we have 4. We got Kirby, we got Gilbert, we got Wu, and we got Miller. But some people would say that we have 5 with Castillo, but again, we're not built like other teams. We're one of the only, organizations out there that has that kind of depth. That's why we have a top 3 pitching staff. We just need, better bullpen and better hitters. Hitters that can, hit at this ballpark, which is not easy. And maybe we need a better manager than Dan Wilson, too. Dan is filling in for Scott, but not like Scott was great. Situational managing was terrible. 2-2 pitch. And down goes Mitch Garver looking. Terrible. Why is he even playing? Stupid. I mean, if you're looking at this lineup of these players, I mean, most of the time, unreliable, terrible, not good this year, unreliable for the most part, but every once in a while we'll get a hit, and not very reliable here either. I mean, how do you expect to win the game when you only have a couple guys that you believe in, And then it took a guy that's 39 to hit the game-tying home run. You have to look at the lineups, and see, is this going to win us a game or not? So, all right, Mariners, what do we got next? And who do we have in? So now they're bringing in Snyder. I knew that Munoz wasn't pitching the 8th and the 9th. Why are we having Snyder pitch in the 9th and not Munoz? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what Dan Wilson is on, but I mean, most of the time it's better than Scott Service, but still, a lot of head-scratching moves. Like Snyder is going to be the best option at the end of the game. It better be. We'll find out here in a second. Let's see who's up next here for the Yankees. But at least Justin Turner tied it up. Thank God, Next up for the Yankees, 0 for 2 with a base on ball in the K. A stash from the past, catcher Austin Wells. Batting second this inning, third baseman Jazz Chisholm. And batting third, center fielder Jason Dominguez. Let's go, Mariners. Ridiculous. Logan Gilbert, 7 wins, 11 losses. No run support. The least amount of run support out of any starting pitcher in baseball. Logan Gilbert. Ridiculous. That's a great, you know what? I was thinking that also. I think you hit it right on the head. I think that's why they brought him out there. Instead of having Snyder in the 8th and then Munoz in the 9th, they were actually looking at the lineup and thinking, okay, we need to find a way to get these guys out. And I think you hit it right on the head, Captain Oreo. I think that's exactly why we saw Munoz in the 8th and not in the 9th. Top of the 9th, 1-1 Yankees and Mariners. Yankees had all the momentum. They ended up winning yesterday 11-2. The game was over by the 4th inning. The Judge had 2 RBIs in the first, 2 RBIs in the second. We were down 4-0, and it felt like it was already kind of over, right? But today, after you end up having an explosion of runs, usually the next game is a little bit lighter. And it was 1-0 until right there. And Justin Turner, obviously, in the last inning, was able to get us that home run, and another K there for Colin Snyder to add to his total. Let's go. Let's go, Colin. Keep it going. Pitch low out of the zone to Jazz Chisholm Jr., 1-0 count. But hopefully we can end up winning this game 2-1. Either in 9 or in 10. 1-0 pitch. Good movement on that baseball. Snyder looking good right out of the gate. He's looking like Troy Taylor right now. One pitch to Chisholm. Fouled that one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jazz, 258 average, 22 homers, and 66 ribbies for the Yankees. He has been a good fit for this Yankee team from going to the Marlins to New York. It all depends on what batters we have here in the bottom of the 9th, though. Pitches outside, and they called that strike 3. What a terrible call by that ump. That was at least a foot or 2 off the plate. And this ump, again, with another terrible Angel Hernandez call. Terrible. 2 away. Next up, center fielder Jason Dominguez. I mean, Cal's great at framing pitches after the fact, but there's no way in hell that was a strikeout. There's been probably about 5 or 6 horrible calls today. A couple for the Yankees and a couple for the Mariners, maybe 3 apiece, maybe 4 apiece. It hasn't been good. 0 for 2 with a walk, stolen base, and a run for Jason Dominguez. Fouled that one off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chopper towards first base, foul. Yeah, if we can get the run support tomorrow, we'll see. But again, you always want to be shooting for 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And with Logan on the mound, he gets the least amount of run support out of any Major League Baseball pitcher. But if Victor Robles is back tomorrow, we're going to have a chance. But if Victor Robles is out of the lineup like today, it's going to be a crapshoot. It shows you how important Robles is to this lineup. 1-2 pitch. Snyder looks good in this inning. And that one's foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, we have to go to the bottom of the 9th. It's top of the 9th now. So we have an opportunity with our 3 hitters to win, and hopefully we can. But yeah, Crawford, Haniger, Rojas is the next 3. Got him. Nice job by Snyder to get us out of the inning. Let's see if we can get this momentum that we created with Justin Turner. Nice job, Colin Snyder. Pitching very similar to Troy Taylor right there. Nice. And where's Luke Raley? You're telling me that Luke Raley, this is a guy that can win a game. This is a guy that has won a game, and again, if you're actually looking at guys that are dangerous in the box, you're looking at it. There's not too many. There's this guy right here, right? Victor Robles, Luke Raley, Julio, and Cal Raleigh. That's most of the time it. And then every once in a while, we'll get some magic like this that just kind of comes out of nowhere. Or yesterday, like this. But you can't count on those guys. You're going to get that like once every 15 games where they might do something like that. So, yeah, Robles wasn't on our team. We got him right before the All-Star break. So he was on the Nats. We got him for a bag of Doritos. But Robles is the best hitter on the team. And he's the guy that sets the tone. And then when you don't have him in the lineup, it's almost an automatic loss every time. So we got an extension, and he's going to be on the team for a couple more years. But I just don't think the average fan realizes that, yeah, Julio and Cal are bigger names, and they're amazing players, even though that Julio struggled at the beginning of the year. But ever since we got Victor Robles, he's been kind of the most consistent clutch hitter that we've had. And again, when you don't have him in the lineup, he couldn't grip the bat this morning, and he got hit on the knuckles. And he's been getting hit by pitches a lot lately, Robles and Randy Arozarena. So hopefully, he'll be able to grip the bat tomorrow, because we're going to need him with Logan Gilbert on the mound if he's able to grip the bat and be able to hit and defend. Luke Weaver on the mound, JP Crawford in the box. He's gotten hit multiple times in the last 2 weeks. There's been a time where Randy was getting hit, multiple times in a game. Same thing with Victor. And then it's, even worse when you're getting hit over and over, by different pitchers in each game. And especially if you get hit on the wrist or on the pinky or on the hand, you might end up breaking a bone like JP Crawford did. He got hit in the pinky. He was out for almost 2 months. 0-1 count from Weaver to JP. Pitch is low and into the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to JP Crawford, who has had an off year this year, just like Julio Rodriguez. He was bad before the pinky break, and he's been bad since the pinky break, if we're just being real. We can't give him the kudos that he's been like Victor Robles, because he hasn't. 1-1 pitch. In some games, he's kind of seemed like disinterested or, just not caring, even though that may not be the case. But, with JP and Randy Arozarena, it seems like at times that they're out of it mentally. They're not focused. And that's something that's kind of uncharacteristic by JP, because normally he's locked in, and he's our leadoff hitter, but he lost that role to Robles, and he should never be the leadoff hitter ever again, as long as Robles is on the team. That might be an ego punch, but that's the truth. You leave JP leading off, you're going to lose a bunch of games. He just is not seeing the ball the same way that he did last year and the year before. But if he gets hit by a pitch or walked here and not get hurt, that could be a bonus for us. And bring in goddamn Luke Raley already. Do I got to manage this team myself? 2-2 pitch, pitches outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. I'm not going to know everything, and I'm not going to be 100% right, but I've been watching this team since the fucking 80s, okay? And I got a good pulse on what's going on with this roster. 3-2 pitch from Weaver to Crawford. Ball 4, baby. Let's go. There we go, baby. JP on first, and lo and behold, look who it is. You got my text message. Next up, a guy that can win the game for us, first baseman, Luke Raley. Finally. We should have brought him in the 7th inning to pinch hit, not all the way in the 9th. Could have given him a couple opportunities to hit and get warmed up. But if there is a guy that could deliver the dramatic big home run or RBI, it is Luke Raley. Let's go, Luke. And I think right now, Luke Raley is probably the fourth best player as far as positional players on the team. You know, you got Robles, you got Julio, you got Cal, and you got Luke. Those are the four guys that you need to build around. Everyone else is kind of disposable, if we're being real. You know, a lot of the other guys are, you know, role players, but, you know, I'm not sure if these are guys that are going to be on the team down the road. Garver, Polo, and all the rest. Demo, Haniger. Big swing and a miss, 0-2 count. And typically when Luke gets an 0-2 count, he strikes out or he pops up. So I don't think we're going to get the magic here. Bottom of the ninth, 1-1 Yankees and Mariners. Runner at first, JP, nobody out. 0-2 pitch from Weaver to Raley. Pitch is outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Luke. One-two pitch from Weaver to Raley. Strikeout by Weaver. You know, when you just know players, you know tendencies, and anytime you get in that 0-2 with Luke, you know, not a good sign. But I'm glad they finally put him in, but it would have been better if they would have put him in the 7th or the 8th, so he'd have a couple at-bats, not just one to be the hero. Next up, pretty soon after Rojas will be Julio Rodriguez. And Rojas pops it up, staying in the yard. 2 away. What an easy at-bat for the Yankees there for the defense. And now, the last opportunity here, possibly. 0 for 3, base on ball, 2 Ks. Julio Rodriguez. Can we get a little bit of magic out of J-Rod? He went 4 for 5 yesterday. He went 4 for 5 a few days before that. You know, he has been a little bit better. But again, after he goes 4 for 5, what is he today? 0 for 3. We need consistency. Consistency is king. Just like everything in life. You got dreams and goals. You got to be consistent. Can't be good every once in a while. Bottom of the ninth, 1-1 Yankees and Mariners. Justin Turner with a late home run in the bottom of the 8th to tie it up. Runner at first, JP, 2 outs, 1-0 count to Julio. Chops that one foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, an RBI, single or double would be great. But we might have to win this in 10 or 11. Not sure if it's going to be right here. Doesn't feel like it's going to be like here to me. My gut tells me it's going to have to wait. But I hope I'm wrong. Pitch is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope we end up winning it right here in the bottom of the ninth, 2-1. But my gut tells me it's going to be in the 10th or the 11th. Not right here in this inning. 2-1 pitch from Weaver to Julio. Chops it foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Keep grinding, Julio. Make me wrong. I don't mind being wrong when it ends up leading to a win for the Mariners. Come on, Julio. Julio 0 for 3. Now, if Julio was 1 for 3, then I think he could do it here. But just the simple fact that he's 0 for 3 is going to make it tough. Because mentally, he's already in his head thinking, fuck, man, I'm already 0 for 3 today. I don't know. I know my players pretty well. You know, I'm not going to be right all the time. But, again, my ESP is pretty strong most of the time by watching, you know, these games beginning to end. Not many baseball fans watch 162 games every year. Weaver, 2-2 pitch to Julio. Crushes that one foul. Count remains 2-2. 2-2 pitch with the game on the line. Struck him out. See, like, there's certain times when you got like ESP and you want to be wrong, so that way that you actually like have your team win. You know, it's like being right all the time or some of the time is not ideal when your team fucks up. But again, you know, you have to be able to look at all of the factors. Now, if Julio ended up being 1 for 3 or 2 for 3, I think he would have been able to make that play there at the end of the matchup. But when you have that pressure of being 0 for 3 after having a 4 for 5 game the previous night, sometimes that's kind of Julio's character, you know, where he just ends up choking. And unfortunately, we're going to be going into 10. Top of the 10th, 1-1 Yankees and Mariners. Let's see who's up here for New York. Next up for the Yankees, 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 Ks, first baseman Anthony Rizzo. Batting second, shortstop Anthony Volpe. And batting third, left fielder Alex Verdugo. And if we don't have the right pitching in here late, we're going to lose 2-1 because, I mean, who are we having now? We went through Miller for 6th, then we brought in Taylor in the 7th, Munoz in the 8th, Snyder in the 9th. Like, who do we have left? It kind of feel, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to say it, but I kind of feel like we're going to lose 2-1 to the Yankees here, either in the 10th or the 11th, unless pitching is going to be, you know, magnificent here, and I don't know if it will be. We've already went through kind of the guys that we had. Like, now who do we bring in? Is Snyder pitching again for another inning, or are we bringing in someone else? That was definitely mismanaged, you know, based off the bullpen. But based on what I can see on the depth chart, it looks like Snyder is still going to be out there. And there it is. Rizzo doubled to right. Dominguez scored, and your boy is correct. The game is over. 2-1 Yankees. My ESP is fucking on point. I keep telling people, you know, I don't know what to say. Just like that. I mean, we're going to have a chance to tie, right? We're going to have a chance to tie or take the lead. But again, momentum in sports is a motherfucker. And if you watch enough sports for long enough, like I have since the mid-'80s, you start to see tendencies on what good teams do and what bad teams do. And, you know, ghost runner at second, first pitch, right? Snyder's still in the game. Not good. But momentum is real, and top of the 10th, 2-1 Yankees. Terrible. Again, they totally mismanaged the bullpen there with, you know, bringing in the pitchers in those particular innings. You know, again, we got the nice home run to tie it with Turner, but having Snyder pitch 2 innings was not smart. Bunt. 1 away. I mean, if we were a good hitting team, then obviously the belief is higher. But when you're not a good hitting team, and it's like pulling teeth to get hits and RBIs and home runs, you kind of understand where your team is at. Like, you know, there's still a chance that we can tie this and come back and win. But I mean, we're talking about a very low percentage. It's down to like 1 to 3%. To probably, you know, 3% probably to tie, 1% to win. Momentum has shifted dramatically now. You know, and also, too, you got to look at the body language of the players when the game went up from 1-1 to 2-1. You know, some of the players are already thinking about dinner, wine, drinks, what's happening after this game. I don't think every Mariner player is still focused on, hey, we can tie it, we can win. Some of them are already mentally checked out. But hopefully there is a miracle. Top of the 10th, 2-1 Yankees. Runner at second with 1 out. Verdugo. Julio is there. 2 away. getting to third base easily there with 2 outs. Now next up, second baseman Gleyber Torres. 0 for 4. Hopefully it'll be 0 for 5. Hard being a Pacific Northwest fan, hard being a Mariner fan. That's pretty much all you can say. It's not easy. A lot of heartache, a lot of heartbreak, but a lot of coaching maneuvers, we got to have the right players, but also you have to have the right management. And if you don't have the right coaching and you don't have the right, individuals playing in the right innings, you can lose a game just like that. And I think overall, Dan Wilson has been better than Scott Service, but there has been some bad decisions that are very Scott Service-like that Dan has done. First pitch to Torres, in there for a strike. 0-1 count. Big swing and a miss, behind the count 0-2. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. $89 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 1-2 pitch from Snyder to Torres. Popped up. And we finally... diving catch in the outfield by Luke Raley. And that's another reason why he should have been fucking starting in this game. All right. Last chance opportunity for the Mariners to tie or to win. Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, and Justin Turner are up next. So I guess it's not like the worst 3 guys to have. We got a guy that actually hit the home run for us already, and then you got Cal and Randy. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 4, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a base on ball and 2 Ks, Randy Arozarena. And batting third, the hero in the 8th with the solo dinger, first baseman Justin Turner. Let's go, Mariners. We need 1 more like to 30. Let's get there, baby. 1 more like. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. There we go. Thank you so much. We're at 30 now. Next goal will be 35 or 40, even though it might be over here in just a couple minutes. But thank you so much. Oh, baby. Come on, Mariners. Bottom of the 10th. 2-1 Yankees. We got a ghost runner at second. Come on, Cal. Let's go, big dumper. You can do it. You're one of the best clutch hitters in the 7th inning and beyond, if not the best. Let's go, Cal. Bottom of the 10th, 2-1 Yankees. First pitch to Cal, in there for a strike, 0-1 count. And Julio is at second base already. So, he's got the speed. He can make it home, on a little blooper. 0-1 pitch from Hamilton. Cal, blooper. There we go. Runners at first and third. Nice job, Cal Raleigh. There we go. Another reason why this is a player that should be in a Mariner uniform for life. If that means that we have to give this guy $200 million, $300 million, $350 million, you do not let Cal Raleigh walk to another team when that time comes. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. We got runners at first and third with no outs. Don't hit into a fucking double play, and we might actually have a chance to tie this up or win. Let's go, Randy. Save us, please. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. 0 for 3 with a walk in the fourth. Come on, Mariners. Trident's up. Oh, 1 pitch. Whoa. Wild pitch there. And they are incredibly lucky that Wells caught that. If that one would have ended up going behind to the backstop, that Julio would have easily scored from third to tie it up 2-2. Come on, Mariners. Let's go, M's. 1-1 pitch. Randy pops it up. Out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitches outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Randy. Randy's bat goes out of his hand. He strikes out, and then Julio is sleeping at third base and then gets thrown out. We lost. This is over. You can't have a guy strike out after losing his bat and then Julio not paying attention at third and then getting thrown out. Julio's trying to get out of the way, out of the bat, but you got to get back to third base. What are you doing? And Jazz Chisholm says, throw me the ball. What an idiot, Julio. What the hell are you doing? And Julio just cost us the game. Now we got a runner at first with 2 outs. What the hell are you thinking, Julio? Jesus Christ. That was what, Julio's been like that this year too. Not mentally focused. I get it. The bat is coming towards you, but then you immediately get back to third. You don't just hang around into the dirt area and then occasionally just kind of gradually get in there. Jazz Chisholm and the Yankees know exactly what they need to do, and they caught Julio sleeping, being lazy. Unexcusable. Idiot. Unbelievable. Now we got Victor Robles at first base, which is a good sign where he may play tomorrow. But at least they got him out there as a pinch runner. We could have really used him as a hitter. But if he can't grip the bat, at least he wasn't able to do that earlier today. But he's got oven mitts on both hands here. So we got Robles in there for Cal Raleigh. But now we got Justin Turner. I know we win in the most chaotic ways, but God, we lose in the most chaotic ways as well. Randy swings, the bat goes flying towards Julio, and then he strikes out, and then Julio doesn't get back to third base in time. Unfucking believable. Anna. Go Mariners, but I think we're done. And what's the likelihood that JT can hit a home run or get a big RBI after he already did it once tonight? It's not really in his nature as a player to do it. Bottom of the 10th, 2-1 Yankees. Throw to first to try to get Robles to end the game. Luckily, he goes back safe. But we're not winning this game. This game is over. 100%. Not being negative, just being real. There's just too much momentum. And Turner pops it up, and the game is over. Oh, he missed it. But now it's over. Damn it! And that's the final. In 10, Yankees 2, Mariners 1. Unbelievable. And that is strike number 3. Final score, Yankees 2, Mariners 1. But again, that's just how things go. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. Unfortunate. And again, you typically got to get 4 runs, 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. They had a big 11-2 win on us yesterday. And now we just got to hope with Logan Gilbert on the mound tomorrow morning. I'm not streaming the game, but I will be doing the Patriots and the Jets for Thursday Night Football. But I will be watching. Hopefully, we can get the proper run support to prevent us from getting swept. Well, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Again, not the outing that we wanted here late, but I do appreciate everybody. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.